The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm gonna drink my whiskey, gonna have my man, I know you got nothing to say. I'm gonna have my man, gonna steal their hearts and save for another day. Ain't gonna hang my hat, ain't gonna take off my boots, ain't nothing gonna stop me in my pursuit. My stage, time to rehearse, gonna see all the wonders of the universe. Pack my bags and mount my horse, I'm gonna ride on into the next town. Spend all my money on absolutely nothing, need no man to pay for anything. Ain't got no shame, nobody knows my name, I'm gonna ride on into the next town. Bakersville, good and hang for long. A female legend with a song, yeah. Such a beautiful day, such a beautiful day. I think I'll wear my brand new necklace. I probably change my mind, it happens every time. Speak to my ex-fiancé. I'm gonna hunt the hunter, gonna serve him well done. Know where to hide, know where to run. Up goes the moon, down comes the sun. Cook my dinner while I try my gun. Pack my bags and mount my horse. I'm gonna ride on into the next town. Spend all my money on absolutely nothing, 'cause there ain't no thing like a chicken wing. Ain't got no shame, nobody knows my name. Ride on into the next town. Bakersville, good and hang for long. A female legend with a song. I'd give my life to be her. I'd give my life just to be her. I'd give my sight to see her. I'd give my sight just to see her. Well, here's the way I'm gonna break it down. Speak my mind at any time, 'cause I got the master plan. Power my soul, strength in my hand. I'm going up north to claim my land. Won't settle by a river, might make me shiver, so look out and hide your fans. I'm a woman on fire with a huge desire to be as good as any man. Pack my bags and mount my horse. I'm gonna ride on into the next town. Spend all my money on absolutely nothing, need no man to pay for anything. Ain't got no shame, nobody knows my name. I'm gonna ride on into the next town. Bakersville, good and hang for long. A female legend with a song, yeah.
Good evening, dear listener. This is the Late Night Alternative with me, Iain Lee, Talk Radio. Yes, I am. There we go. Catherine Boyle is here.
Word.
You can be too by giving us a call, 03444 991,000. We call you back, guys. Stops there. Contrary to someone posted on the Talk Radio Listeners Forum. It was removed swiftly. I'm worried that Iain Lee's going to do a Sid Vicious, and by that I think they mean join the band in its last few months, kill my girlfriend, and overdose on heroin. Well, guys, I'm a good bass player. I'm a decent bass player, so it's impossible for me to do a Sid Vicious. I can play the bass guitar. He was. Everyone, of course, associates Sid Vicious with being the bass player in the Sex Pistols, but he wasn't really for very long. It was literally the dying months of the band. I don't even know if Sid Vicious played in the UK. I know he was on the final tour of the States, but the one that played on the hits, the Nevermind the Bollocks album and God Save the Queen and Anarchy in the UK. You know that guy's name?
No.
No! And this is it. And yet everyone knows Sid Vicious, who was, it was a sad case. His mum used to sprinkle heroin on his cornflakes in the morning. That's a true story. If you are to believe John Lydon's autobiography, and why wouldn't we? But in terms of them, here's the thing about the Sex Pistols. Everyone goes, oh yeah, punk. Those punk bands, of course, they couldn't play. Right, but loads of them couldn't play. And that was the joy of it. It was homemade music, and you didn't really need to know how to play to get a band together. That was kind of the ethos. But the Sex Pistols were a really, really good band. They were a great band. They're great, but perhaps too strong. But they were a strong band. You listen to, and it's only that album. Everything else, either side of it, is pony. But that album, pretty vacant. I'm careful how I'm saying it. The opening riff to God Save the Queen. I had to do the riff in my head and then get to the actual song. I couldn't remember what it was. But the opening riff is a great riff. They were a great little band. And it was the three-piece, really, because John Lydon didn't play the instruments at the time. He was just singing. And you had this wall of sound from... Now, can I name the other Sex Pistols? Steve Jones, or did he host the Pyramid Game? Steve Jones and Cookie. Peter Cook, no. John Cook, no. Glenn Matlock on bass. Steve Jones on guitar. Paul Cook on the drums. That's the Sex Pistols. OK, then we move on to the next band. Can you name all of the members of the Buzzcocks? No. I can name Pete Shelley and Howard DeVito. Couldn't name the rest of them. And this is the thing, and I know Danny Baker goes on about this a lot, but everyone talks fondly about punk and about, punk was rubbish. Punk was rubbish, really. There are... I'm going to give you two good punk albums, because first of all, I don't include The Clash in punk. And is that me? I don't include The Clash in punk. And also, I don't include The Clash in lists of good bands, because I think they're awful. I think they are absolutely awful.
But they qualify as post-punk, don't they?
No! They were around the same time as the Pistols, weren't they? They were 77. I mean, everything's post-punk. We're post-punk. This show is post-punk. But they were around about the same time. But I just don't think it's punk music. I just think it's pony music. The Punk and the Pony, by the way, is the title of my autobiography that will be coming out later in this year. It'll only be available as a digital download, as no publisher will touch it. If you want to give us a call tonight, you'd be very, very welcome. We're talking punk music. We're talking crappy bass players. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Oh, and also I want to talk the weediest characters. Well, I tweeted in cartoons, but let's broaden that. Just the weediest characters around.
Define Weedy.
Freddie from Scooby Doo. Freddie, we were watching a lot of Scooby Doo. My youngest is back into Scooby Doo now. And so many different Scooby-Doo. So we bought a DVD and we were watching How Do You Do, Scooby-Doo? No. Who Are You Now, Scooby-Doo? No. Who Do You Do, Scooby-Doo? No. Anyway, it was...
Something Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. And it wasn't Scooby-Dooby-Doo, having a poo. It wasn't that. It was... what was the theme tune to it? I don't know. And it was nowhere near as... and so we were watching it, and it was late period Scooby-Doo, but it was... I tell you what was exciting for the dads. In one of the episodes, they went to a wrestling event, and Velma and Daphne dressed up in wrestling costumes, and both of those gals, I've got a soft spot for Velma. I really have got a soft spot for Velma. I think both those gals dressed up in their female wrestling attire. It was something very, very special indeed.
Didn't the guys dress up?
Freddie did, actually. Yeah, Freddie did. Scoobs and shit. I can do a brilliant Scooby-Doo impression. Do you want to hear it?
Go on.
That's not bad!
Psych, Scoob!
Who's that?
Shaggy.
Here's an interesting fact, fans. Scooby Doo's voice is done by the same guy that does Freddy's voice.
Gosh.
There we go. Jinkies would be the correct thing.
Would be correct.
Oh, you can't see Catherine on the Periscope. We'll give you a little twist in a minute. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. What a crappy weekend in all kinds of terms. So let's just have fun tonight, shall we? Fun. But before that, let's bemoan the fact that the snow has gone. And it's got... just think, on Friday, everyone was going stir-crazy. Everyone was locked in. Everyone was pulling their hair out. And I woke up Saturday and most of it had gone.
No, Saturday where I live, we still had snow, and my eldest spent the whole afternoon hurtling into hedges.
Wowzers.
She loved it.
Of course. No, the snow was gone where we were. Saturday, I came out. I thought I'd take the boys out because they'd been a bit poorly. And I thought I'd take them out for a sledge, drag them out. Nothing. It had all gone. And now, today, it's a beautiful spring, warm, bright, sunny day. And so all of you miserable lot that moaned about the snow, are you happy now? Well, yeah, I'm sure you are happy now. But I could have done with another few more days. And that's exactly what I intended to say. Another few more days of snow. I could have done with a bit more. And you guys were, I don't know, maybe you're Christians and you prayed it away. Maybe you're Muslims and you prayed it away. Maybe you're Sikhs and you chanted it away. But whatever happens, it's gone. So thanks a lot, members of the cloth. Thanks a lot, guys, for ruining my life and everybody else's lives. I hope you're happy now. Sandy and Rob, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. 0344 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Let's go to Sandy. Yes, hello, Sandy. Sandy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well, Sandy. How's it going with you? Here's something, and why have my spidey senses started tingling?
Your spidey sense?
My spidey senses just started tingling.
Oh, you stumped me there.
No, okay. Well, let's see. Onwards and upwards. What have you called in for, Sandy?
Well, I have called in, firstly, to apologise because I am one of the people that wished the snow away. I am not a woman of the class. I am a woman that wonders how Jesus found people called Matthew, Luke, and Paul in the Middle East.
Good Middle Eastern names, as you well know. Stop questioning the holy word of the baby Jesus.
But what I did call in is that I've been having one of my really epically low times.
Oh yes.
And I wanted to say that you wrote a piece on loneliness.
Yes.
And dude, I cannot begin to tell you what that piece said to me.
Oh wow.
And you are now one of my coolest icons. Because despite what has happened to you, and despite how you feel, and despite the shit that I didn't even know about until I read your Facebook page,
yes,
you got up today.
Wow,
really
Sandy,
sorry.
that's a yellow card.
Sorry.
It's a yellow card in the shape of a heart, but it's a yellow card. It's a naughty, Sandy.
It was said in a moment of passion.
Apologies to the people.
You
on
know
Periscope.
how it goes.
I know how it goes. We'll be going there no more. Don't worry.
So that is all. That is what I rang in.
Thank you,
to say.
Sandy. Thank you, Sandy.
Because I just wanted to say you are an absolute legend. Keep going, man.
May God bless. Well, no, not God. May Buzz Aldrin bless you. May Trevor Bayliss, the inventor of the wind-up radio, who died today, bless you.
Thank you. I shall take that. Have a good evening to you and Cass.
Thank you, Sandy. Ta-ta. Trevor Bayliss died.
I know.
80 years old.
We mentioned him a couple of weeks ago.
I know, and we mentioned Roger Bannister.
I know, we've got to stop mentioning people.
Although I thought Roger Bannister had died, like, in the 60s. Do you know what killed Roger Bannister? Did you read about it?
No.
So he
wasn't running, was he?
Well, he was in I think it's Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and he was buying something, and the bloke looked at his credit card. He went, Roger Bannister, you're not the real Roger Bannister. And he went, yeah, I am. He said, no, you're not. He said, yeah, I am. He said, go on, then prove it. And he did. He tried to run around
No,
the car.
shut up.
He tried to run around the car park and he had a rustle. That is true.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that is true. He tried to do the 4-minute mile. He did the 4-minute doing his laces up instead. I thought he died in the 60s.
Wow.
So I'm doubly traumatised. And do you have a Bayliss, inventor of the Wind Up Radio? Thanks everyone who mentioned that I, of course, worked with him on The Big Breakfast. I never did The Big Breakfast. So many people said, you worked with him, didn't you?
It's the only thing I liked you on.
I know. Ah! 03444991000. Yeah, I wrote a thing about loneliness, and it's kind of caught the internet wind. If you want to read it, you can go to iainlee.com. Or it's on my Facebook page, facebook.com/guess it. That's right, Iain Lee. And thank you to everyone who's retweeted it. I had some lovely people retweeted it. The Samaritans have retweeted it. Susanna Reid retweeted it. Collins retweeted it. The who's that actor? The lady actor.
There are so many these days.
She's on Loose Women. I was married to one of the people from Our Wiedersehen Pet.
Oh,
yeah. You know it. No, don't Google it.
Oh, I gotta.
Google is banned.
I can see her.
Yeah, I can see her. I think I might have met her. I think I might have met her on a Big Brother programme. Absolutely delightful to me.
What's her name?
All right, let me just say Colleen Nolan to get that out of my head, because it isn't
Colleen
her,
Nolan.
but I had to just get that out of the head. I can see her. Blonde lady.
Mm-hmm. Short hair.
Yeah. Got her boobs out in Big Brother, I remember that.
Well, hard not to.
No, exactly. I had a few ups and downs, but on the up now.
Yep.
Oh, what's that? Oh, Google is banned on this show for tonight, I've decided. Oh, well.
It'll come to us when we're not thinking about it.
It'll come to us. And she retweeted it. And it is only 560 words. It's just a little thing. You know, and but then the Daily Mail brought it up when, you know, they wrote about me in the weekend. The Daily Mail then wrote about that, about my heartbreaking blog.
Oh, they're so caring, aren't they?
But, of course, all that stuff we said on the show on Saturday, according to those guys.
If you're going to nick someone's story, at least check when it went out.
Let me just get this out of the way, right? So there was a thing in the paper on Sunday. It was in some of the papers. I haven't seen it. I've seen it online.
Denise Welch.
Thank you. I've not seen it. I've seen it online. I didn't read the papers, and it's caused me no end of bother. I think I can say that without it causing any more bother. And here's the thing. Right, all it is stuff that I said on this radio show, right? And I have been doing radio shows for the last 20 years where I've said some of the most outrageous stuff, some of the most personal stuff, some of the most intimate stuff, some of the most offensive stuff. And for the last 20 years, no one has given a toss, okay? Because it's a nice, small, niche audience, cult audience, and we all kind of get it, right? No one's given a toss. And then I did that job at the end of last year, and for a brief period, coming back, there was a gaze of intensity on me. I don't know if that's a phrase, but there was bright intensity on me, and a lot of what I said was picked up. And I naively thought that interest in me had gone, right? I genuinely thought that interest had gone, and that I could share the same intimate things with you guys, the listener, you dear listener, and it would just be between us. And then what someone did was they listened to a show from a few weeks ago, or a podcast or whatever, and they turned it into a story that made me sound like a gibbering wreck who was standing on the top of a building injecting heroin into my arm about to jump. And that isn't the case at all. But I did say those things. But it was naive of me to think that moment of interest from the press had gone. They asked me, Mirror asked me to do an interview on Saturday. I mean, they're fair play. They phoned up my agent on Friday and said, we're running this. These are the quotes we've got. And my agent phoned me up. I went, yeah, I said that. Fair enough. And then Saturday they said, we'd love to get Iain. We'd love to interview Iain as part of this for our mental health awareness campaign. And I went, nah, you just tell them those guys can carry on printing poison and it will have a negative impact on my life. That's great. It's great for them. So what it has taught me is there is still interest in me from areas that for the last 20 years have shown no interest in me whatsoever, i.e. the tabloids, right? And it caused me no end of bother, that story this weekend. It really has been a very, very tough weekend. So I am going to have a rethink. Jonathan, Rob and Jonathan, stay there. I'm going to have a rethink about what intimate details I share with you, dear listener, because I don't want it to change the show, but also I really don't like having stuff that is... There's a real difference between sharing intimate personal details with a small but loyal late-night radio audience. And there's a difference between that and between having your words taken out of context and put into a story written by someone else in a national Sunday newspaper. There's something a little bit significantly seedier about the latter, and something I don't know, engaging, romantic. I don't know about the former. And I don't want to go through what I had to go through this weekend. So I'm having to have a little rethink about what details I share with you. And I'm having to have a little rethink about the language that I use in certain things. If you read the stories, you'll get it. If you didn't, you know, just imagine crappy stuff about marriages and drugs. That was that. So that's it. But the show won't change so much. I don't think you guys probably won't even notice the change. But you know, I just feel. Did you read it? Did you read the paper?
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck! You read the paper on me? Hey!
I heard the show, so it wasn't a massive surprise. But also,
what page was I on?
Oh, I didn't read the actual paper.
Oh, okay. You read the online thing. Okay, I just want to know what page I was on and how much of a page it took. There's my ego, you see. There's my ego kicking
The other
in.
thing is that when you were in the jungle, I had a couple of occasions where I was misquoted or they took half of what I said and then leapt to a conclusion. So I kind of know them of old, and I wouldn't talk to them either.
Yeah, we'd love him to contribute to this article and make it part of our mental health awareness campaign. You're going to write stuff that's really going to make life for me very, very difficult, and it's really personal, and it's implying that I'm about to gobble up a whole car full of heroin and crack, and you really think I'm going to be believing that you're interested in my mental health, guys?
Yeah, they really care.
They want me to jump off a bridge. That's what they want.
They
want me to jump off a bridge with a needle in my arm. Then they'll be happy.
It's not just you. They do it to anyone who shows any kind of weakness in that area.
Well,
or honesty, not even weakness.
There's no bridge jumping. There's no needle in my arm. So, up yours, dear Laws. 0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Let's go to Rob. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Ian. How are you?
I'm very, very well, Rob. What have you got for us tonight?
I just wanted to share with you my excellent day. For all my friends are asleep, so I need to kind of tell someone about it. So, So basically, me and my wife had a little boy today.
Hey! Donald, where's your trousers?
So I spoke to you before. I spoke to you before. I'm the guy who met his wife on a plane to Australia. I don't remember.
Oh yes.
I don't remember that.
You were sitting next to her, weren't you?
Yeah, and she had 16 hours of my...
Oh, no, I do remember that. Yes, I do remember that. Yes.
And, so it's just a bit weird, because I'm at home now, and the house is all, nice and quiet, and there's no one here.
Yeah.
It won't be like that from tomorrow onwards, mate.
No, so what I did was I just got loads of beer and a big Chinese. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if hiring sex workers is the appropriate way to be celebrated. Oh, listen, man, that's brilliant. I remember when my first kid and I went home and the house was empty, and it's like
after the most dramatic thing you've ever seen.
And then the next day, when we came out and all the in-laws had gone and the cousin there was a cousin there and all this, and we brought the baby home on our own, and we had the car seat, and we put the baby in the middle of the living room, and we looked at it and went, well, what do we do now?
You feel like someone's going to come in and go, actually, sorry, you're not ready to do this yet. That's fine.
Oh, mate, congratulations. This is your first child, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, no, we've got a little girl already, but I've palmed her off to the in-laws' house.
Oh.
So, so we've got a bit of peace and quiet.
Okay.
But I just thought, the thing I was going to talk about was childbirth, it's utterly brutal, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's nothing more.
I didn't
more
see it come
changing
out.
as a man.
I wasn't allowed down the business end. I was allowed. I caught a glimpse of it actually. But yeah, I wasn't allowed. I wasn't really allowed down there. I'm not that bothered.
I remember it quite well. It wasn't. It stung a bit from my point of view too.
What? When my wife gave birth? Wow.
No.
Well, it's and everyone's healthy and well, are they?
Oh, everything's good.
It's that weird thing, right? And I don't know many, but so there's you, your missus, the midwife, and maybe a doctor. So there's 4 people in the room, right?
There's 8 of them in there today.
Right, there was 8. Right, so there was eight people in the room, right?
What was it? C-section?
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
So there's 8 people in there, right? And this is the magic thing, right? And the door is shut and the windows are shut, and suddenly there's 9 people in there. Suddenly there's an extra person in there, and they didn't come through the door or the window. That blew my mind. That blew my mind.
The first baby is the weird one where you go in as a couple and come
Don't
out
be rude about my kids.
as a family. That's the strangest thing. All of a sudden they're saying, "Would you like to hold your daughter?" And it's like, flipping heck, not your baby, your daughter.
I know.
Incredible.
But the other weird thing was they had a terrible radio station on in the hospital.
Yeah.
I never.
And the song that came on as my son was born was is it Men at Work, like Land Down Under?
Do you come from a land down under? Where women go and men chunder. Can't you hear that thunder? You better run, you better take cover.
That is the one. I just thought it was quite appropriate for Men at, yeah. And that's it, really. That's all I wanted to say. Oh, and one thing, I saw that Daily Mail thing, and they can just shove it, can't they? Really?
Well, exactly. Yes, they can shove it. Rob,
that's my opinion, anyway.
Rob, enjoy your evening. Get drunk. Eat Chinese food. Listen to this rubbish, and I wish you the best of luck.
And go to sleep, because you ain't going to be sleeping much for the next few months.
Play PlayStation. If you've got a PlayStation, play it, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Xbox on now and get stuck in.
Outrageous.
Good lad. Thank you very much, Rob. 03444991000. We've got 2 Jonathans up next. What we're going to do after the break is I'm going to put them both on, and whoever responds with the phrase that pays, which is my bum is sore, after I'm going to say hello, Jonathans, and whoever says my bum is sore first gets to
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Hello, Jonathans.
Hello. Your bum is sore.
Okay, right. We'll go to Jonathan in Swansea first. He was close with your bum is sore. He's close, and well done, Jonathan. I really didn't think it would be you that would get that. What have you got for us tonight?
You were talking about Weedy characters.
Yes. We've got Freddie from Scooby Doo. Who have you got?
I've got 3 of them. I've got 3.
Go on.
Tingle from Zelda.
Sorry?
Tingle.
Who's Tingle?
He's some creepy character that dresses in a green leotard, and he was first seen in Majora's Mask.
Okay, fine. Beautiful. Tingle from Zelda is on there, yes.
Jar Jar Binks, obviously.
Well, all right. Okay, no. I don't know if Jar Jar Binks is Weedy. He's actually quite bold in the movie. He's annoying. He's a mistake. It was obviously a cynical ploy from George Lucas to get a few quid by making a cute character that all the kids want. It's the new R2-D2. But I'm not going to allow him as Weedy unless you can put forward a strong argument as to why you think he's Weedy.
He was the idiot that encouraged the Senate to pass emergency legislation in Attack of the Clones to use the clone army and suspend democracy.
That's quite a major thing.
Well, you just disagree with his politics, don't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, he's an idiot, just like Boris Johnson. In fact, Jar Jar Binks and Boris Johnson are like spin-off characters that were devised in some sort of Hollywood executive studio just so that they could flog a load of toys at Christmas.
Well, do you know what? I'm looking forward to getting home and playing with my Boris Johnson posable action figure. It even does real cock-ups. I'm not allowing Jar Jar Binks. Who's your third?
The worst one of all. The one that has annoyed me for over 20 years.
Yep.
Slippy Toad.
Now, I know Slippy Toad. Remind me where from.
He's from the Star Fox games.
He is from the Star Fox games. And for those who aren't as familiar with the Star Fox games as you and I, and it's been a long time since I played them, describe Slippy Toad and tell us why you think he deserves a place on this list of weediness.
He's supposedly a mechanic, but he always gets himself into trouble, and you have to bail him out all the time.
Bit like Kevin Webster from Coronation Street, isn't it?
Yeah, and Kevin Webster's more useful than Slippy Toad.
Okay, Mudstich Webster.
And every time you have to go and save Slippy Toad, you get killed because of his incompetence.
Okay. Slippy Toad is on the list, Jonathan. Thanks very much for calling.
Can I put one forward?
Of course you can.
Orko from He-Man.
Yeah, I never used to watch He-Man.
Oh, God, I don't know what that was.
It takes him an hour to pick up a flower. That's He-Man, isn't it?
Yes.
It takes him an hour to pick up a flower. Yeah, I never really used to watch.
I used to watch it, and at the end there would always be, "Hey, what did we learn today?" And they'd always end the episode with a
Springer's final thoughts.
Yes.
So you're saying Jerry Springer is based on He-Man? He's part of the He-Man canon. So here's the thing: shows that you nah.
No, because it's going to end up being 80s TV shows, and we're not doing that.
Let's go to other Jonathan.
Hello,
Jonathan.
How you doing, Ian? You all right?
I'm all right, Jonathan. How are you doing?
Do you remember me from back in the day?
No.
No, well, I've seen you on your YouTube page, how it was Jonathan's breakdown that you've publicised, and there's literally 3,000 views looking at that one.
No, I've no idea. It's on my YouTube channel, is it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Before you became famous, second famous, sorry, for the jungle.
Okay, sorry, is it Jonathan is a rude dick on there? What is it? Jonathan Ian Lee. What am I looking for?
No, put Jonathan's breakdown Ian Lee.
Jonathan's heartbreaking call.
That's the one.
Jonathan's heartbreaking call. Okay, you're an alcoholic.
Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Oh, I remember. You had a right attitude.
You remember? Yeah. No, I didn't. You did. You went to the jungle.
Hang on a minute. Let's have a listen and let's see who's got the attitude. Hang on.
No, it's got 20 minutes. Why? Because I've got a few more names for elephants for you.
Okay, but you moaned in to complain about callers with dull voices droning on. I thought, go on.
Go on. I come from Leicester, so we got Tricross and there's...
Let's jump forward a bit.
After lies, after lies, after lies. And when you see your government doing these lies after...
Let's just jump to the meat and two veg. I don't think they're relevant. It's all the same thing.
Okay, they're all mashed up into one at the time. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter.
No, was it spirits or was it like...
Doesn't matter. We will do. Let us have a little break, and then we'll dig it out. But I know that the AA isn't for everybody, but we will do it. Ray and Dan, stay there. You sound like a nice kind of guy, Jonathan.
No, we got it back together. Then we lost it because you went in the jungle, got Dennis Weiss on, mug you off.
Yes.
And now we're back to stuck again.
I don't know what I don't know what back to stuck again means.
No, they're like you nearly had it. You nearly had your TV3, was it, show? But then they just no.
Oh no, that's happening. Oh God, no, that the ITV3 show.
It?
Thank you for reminding me. Yes, that's happening. Admittedly.
What was it? The world's biggest bogies? Or
no, admittedly, celebrity fart in a box is not is not the show.
Spelling it
is not the show that I would have wanted to host. But actually, it's quite a good format. Celebrities fart in a box, and members of the public get to sniff it, and they have to guess whose arse it comes from.
It's got to be really from racial diversity to smell the box that celebrities are farted into.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just described in less words.
No. It's brilliant, man. It's brilliant. We used to admire you, man. Really used to admire you.
And now you don't?
No, no, I still do. For what you've done with yourself. You know, you got onto this bandwagon of talk radio, which is needed, but you've got the power now, and Channel 4 has become a hogwash.
Right.
Same with the rest of the terrestrial television shows. So, what are you doing to just make things different?
Why is it up to me to make things different?
Because it is.
No, it's not.
Because you were part of the 90s show, and that was very important. Do you remember the 90s show? You had Ali G. You made Ali G a star, but you were the presenter. Then you just disappeared into obscurity because we all thought you just the crap pipe.
I know, yeah. Right, okay. I know you think you're being friendly, but actually you're being quite aggressive and quite rude.
No, I'm not. We're not.
No, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
At the end of the day, you were the star that we like.
No, Jonathan. You think you're being friendly and think you think this is banter, but actually I'm just going to flag up. You're being quite rude and you're being quite aggressive. I just want to make that clear.
Since you've been in the jungle, you're being a bit uptight. Yeah, fair enough. We can all agree with that.
No. I'm not uptight. If anything, I'm more relaxed since the jungle. But I just want to flag up if it weren't
for me, you wouldn't be even been in the jungle. I think they're point your points up a little bit more. That you've made me famous. In some respects.
Well, you're not famous. You're a nobody. But
we're recording this now, and it's making all of us famous.
Okay. What are you on tonight, dude? Because you're rambling some utter shite tonight.
No, boy, it's making sense, isn't it? In some respects.
No, it's not to
me.
You
were there in the beginning.
You're not listening. You're not, Jonathan. Jonathan, I want to say something. No, Jonathan, I want to say something. And I'm going to be firm about this. You think you are being friendly and this is banter. For the third time, what you are saying is rude and it is hurtful.
Hurtful to who?
To me.
To your career?
No, to me personally.
No, I'm just trying to say you need to know what point you had in society.
I don't want to know it. I don't want to know it from a rambling. I don't want
into obscurity,
and that's hurtful to say, Jonathan. That's really hurtful to say. Well,
is it hurtful to say or hurtful to know?
No, why are you being so rude and aggressive when I've shown you nothing?
I'm not being rude and
you
aggressive.
I'm
saying you had a point in our society when it was before all them hipsters and the rest of it.
Jonathan, you're a very... I became a little prick. I became a little prick.
No, you just disappeared into obscurity.
I became a little prick.
Such high hopes for you, but you just disappeared.
God, you're a horrible, thoroughly unpleasant, disgusting person.
No,
I'm going to say... No, you said it.
Yeah.
3 times I've told you what you are saying to me is hurtful, and yet you've said even more hurtful things. You are a thoroughly unpleasant, obnoxious person.
I'm not trying to be hurtful.
I've told you 3 times. I have told you 3 times you are being hurtful. No, I haven't let myself down. You're letting yourself down with your ill-mannered rudeness. You are a rude person. You are obnoxious. You can't put the bottle down, and you are using your frustrations. They can't hear you now. Here's the thing: when I'm talking, they can't hear you. You're struggling with alcohol, and you're really angry, and you're lashing out at people.
Not really.
And you're lashing. They can't hear you, dude. You're lashing out at people, and you're lashing out at me. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let you say your stuff, bearing in mind most presenters would have cut you off. There we go. He's still going. They can't hear you, dude. I've taken you off, right? I'm going to let you come back on, but I'm going to say for the 4th and final time what you are saying, whether you mean it to or not, and maybe you don't mean it to, but they can't hear you, dude. They can't hear you. You're not on air, okay? I am going to let you come back, but I will tell you that what you are saying...
yourself off.
There we go, right. What you are saying is causing a physical reaction to me. It's causing a shortness of breath. It's causing my cheeks in my face to heat up. And they are physical signs that what you are saying is rude and is hurtful and is personal and is unnecessary. Now, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let you do... They can't hear you, Jonathan. They can't hear you. I'm going to shorten this of breath now. I'm going to put you back on.
You were somewhat awesome.
There we go. Jesus. God. All right. Okay. So I'm going to put you on.
That's all that you're saying.
You just do your piece.
I know. I'm a nobody. Yeah, I'm just a drunk. But you had the power. You had that Channel 4 power. But you let yourself down.
You're on the air. You're on the air now, so you might want to start that again because everyone missed the beginning of it.
I'll start again. If everyone knows, Iain Lee had the show called in the early 2000s, the 11 o'clock show, and Ali G was on that, and Daisy Donovan. But you just disappeared into obscurity. Don't know why. Maybe alcohol, maybe cocaine. But now you're back, and you've got it back. Dennis Rice put you down and mugged you off, but you're okay now, right? You've got public opinion. Like maybe the Daily Mail puts you down or whatever. We don't care. We just need some kind of, not leader, but someone to say, there's a difference. You can understand life differently. And we thought that was you, Iain Lee, but instead you're just being an obnoxious arsehole in some respects. If you want to be that person, then you can be that person. But I'd always thought you were something better. So there you go. That's what I'm saying.
Imagine being called an obnoxious arsehole by a drunk who can't string a sentence together. Thanks so much for your call, Jonathan. It's been a pleasure. There we go. 0344 499 1000. This is the late night alternative on Talk Radio.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
By the way, I am taking over television. I'm on The Right Stuff tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm on The Right Stuff both days.
2 days?
2 days. Hotel for 2 nights in a row. And watch it tomorrow, okay? Because I got a feeling they're going to ask me about what was in the papers.
Okay.
Because my agent told them that's off limits. And then they phoned me up this afternoon after they went to my agent to just talk about what was going on. And they said, that stuff that was in the Mirror, are you okay? They said that, phrase it like that, are you okay? And I went, yeah, I'm fine. And it was like a pause, and I said, but I'm not talking about that tomorrow. That's not to be discussed. He went, oh, okay, I'll tell the producers. Now, the producers already knew. So, there could be a live TV moment.
An ambush.
There could be an ambush. So I really recommend... I don't know. I really recommend you watch it, though. Because there could be one of those awkward moments where people are sat at home with their fists in their mouth going, oh, my God, I can't believe it. Because I've got my answer lined up. I've already got my... Go in prepared. I've got my answer lined up for if they do.
Will you be a bit disappointed if they don't ask you?
I will be, actually. Yeah. No, Matthew's a nice guy, but I know what the game is. I know what the game is.
Matthew is a nice guy, but it sounds as if they're not passing messages on.
Well, I don't know if I know what the game is, and if he asks me, I'm going to call them out.
Yeah.
I'm going to call them out. It could be a wonderful moment. It may never happen. Let's go to Gavin. Good evening, Gavin.
Hello, Ian. How you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you. My chest is a little bit tight after the last 5 minutes of broadcasting,
but
it's good.
Weren't the most groovy moment in the world?
He's continually ringing in now, and I've told Sam not to answer the phone to him anymore.
He's a jester, mate.
He's a what?
A jester.
A jester. Oh, I thought it was...
Yeah, just a jester.
Just a jester. Well, we'll see. Hopefully he'll calm down a bit.
Yeah.
And,
well, I think maybe I can turn the mood around.
Oh, beautiful! A mood turner! Gavin's a mood turner! Let's do it!
And Kath, I'm going to turn your mood right on.
Oh, my mood's peachy, but I can always do with an upper.
I know, and a downer as well.
In the mirror.
Anyway, we'll leave that alone. Right, Ian, I know that the philosophy of Derek and Clive sketches aren't necessarily the best to go for philosophical wisdom.
Okay, yeah. Well, there is some thought in there, though. Yes.
Yeah, and this is a completely clean, funnily enough, observation from the Derek and Clive.
You remind me of something. I'm supposed to phone someone at 10 o'clock tonight. We'll try and phone them at 11. Go on. Someone who knew Peter Cook intimately. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
What, Rainbow George?
Yeah. I'm supposed to phone Rainbow George. Go on, you carry on talking. I've got to find his number.
All right. Yeah, Pete and Dud were doing a sketch where they were sitting in the Rubens, and Derek said, "How do we know if we're here?" And Clive said, "Well, I'm here looking at you." And that opened up a massive avenue of philosophical thought for me. Okay. Is perception...
Well, hang on a minute. We'll get on to the point. So can I be pedantic?
Yeah,
that's not Derek and Clive. That's Pete and Dud.
I know. I'm not sure if it was Pete and Dud or.
Well,
Derek
if they were sat in the Rubens, it was Pete and Dud. Derek and Clive is the sweary version. Pete and Dud is the.
I think it was probably Derek and Clive on the Ad Nauseam album.
Oh, okay. All right. Fine.
So yeah.
And where did that lead you to then, philosophically?
Well, I thought, yeah, that's a very strong argument for knowing that you're there. If somebody says to you, "How do you know that I'm there?" and you say, "Well, I can see you," at whose point of reference is the reality happening? Is it the person that's looking at you, or is it the person being there?
Oh. Catherine, are you following this?
Yeah.
Oh. You don't like these heavy philosophical conversations?
Well, no, you never expect it to come from Derek and Clive, but I was just listening to it earlier. I thought, that's actually quite heavy. It was just a throwaway comment.
I was forced to study Albert Camus in French, so don't tell me I can't handle this
Wowzers.
stuff.
Albert Camus? Gosh.
Kath, do you like Descartes?
No.
No, do you like Molière?
Molière, yes, I did.
Yeah, oh, cool.
Molière was a playwright.
Mm-hmm.
What did he write?
Le Misanthrope.
Who wrote the one about the women? Oh, that was Franz Kafka. No, that wasn't. Who wrote the one about the Spanish one about the women?
Oh, that's Lorca, who I also really
Lorca,
like.
yeah, Lorca. Duende.
Don Quixote, mate. Don Quixote all day long.
Cervantes.
All right, let's cut him off now, because he's being a knob. Speaking of knobs, evening, Ewan!
Hello!
Hello!
I was just wanted to know if you're going on Iceland to get milk diffusion in the next 5 years, because you're awesome.
I've been on it before. I've just recently been on it, Ewan.
Oh, this year. And I shall be looking forward to tomorrow on Right Show.
Sorry?
I said I shall be looking forward to watching tomorrow on Right Show.
Okay, the Right Show, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. You having a good night? Everyone sounds really hyped up, and it's only Monday.
I've walked my house back and back in this horrific weather in the snow.
Oh, okay. And did you drop your phone in the snow? Because it's an atrocious line.
I didn't, but my friend did, but it's like I said, just...
Okay. literally can't understand what you're saying, even less than usual.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can!
I said my friend's dropped his phone because I've moved from when I used to ring you the other week. I've moved since then. I live higher up the valley.
Oh,
so the snow is worse.
Wowzers! Well, that sounds like such an exciting life you're leading.
I'm leaving. Oh my God!
Are you high on drugs? No. Hello.
Yeah, I'm high on drugs.
Okay. Well, that's not necessarily a good thing, is it?
No.
Okay.
I like my alcohol.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Am I weed? Thank you. Bye.
There we go. That explains.
Love you.
Okay. That explains so much about that young man. If indeed it is a young man, I just can't tell these days. And why should you? Matt, stay there. We'll come to you in a bit. 03 44 499 1000 is the telephone number. That's a filibuster of an hour, isn't it, guys? You know, we said we were going to be fun and we were going to be surreal, and another 2 hours of this rubbish to go. 03 44 499 1000. You'll speak to Sam. He'll take your name and a number, and we'll call you back. This is the Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee and Catherine Boyle, only here on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. my chances. I'd die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the bloody stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Oh, 0344 499 1000, the late night alternative with Iain Lee. Catherine Boyle is there. Hello. Bringing in fresh hot drinks for everybody. Come gather round and slurp. We've talked about biggest jerks in the world. Snow. Remind me, I want to talk about virtual reality and arthritis. I have both.
Wow. That's tomorrow's headline.
0344. This is what I wanted to say. So, this weekend I did loads and loads of heroin, and I slept with 25 sex workers, and I ran over a tramp in a car.
Tell them about the bit where you painted your bottom blue.
And I painted my bottom blue and stuck a tube up it, and I invited the Queen to enter. That'll be in this week's papers. So yeah,
that's going to be a long headline.
So you can call in about anything you want. You know the score. Let's go to Matt, then we'll make a phone call out. Good evening, Matt.
That sounded like it was a fun time. When was that?
Are you on speaker?
No, I'm on a headset. Hang on,
why is there a delay when normally you're in New York, but now you're probably about 3 miles away from us in London, and there's an even longer delay. What the hell is that about?
Because I think the way my calling plan is, the call is actually going back to America and then on a satellite and crossing the pond again.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2018.
Hey, I had a cold call, right? So the number came up on my phone and I answered it. It was a Chinese-y sounding fellow, and he was from some financial company or something. And I said very calmly, delete my number off of your system and never call me again. I won't do the voice because it would be considered racist. He said, why is that? I said, because this is a cold call. He said, what makes you think it's a cold call? I said, because you've called me and I don't know who you are. He said, you've registered on our database. I said, no, I haven't. I haven't registered on any financial database. You are... How do you think we got your number then? I said, I don't know. You bought it, you found it, whatever. I don't want you phoning me. Well, this isn't a cold call. I said,
So he's arguing the toss with you?
I said, it did, we were arguing. I said, take my number off your system. He went, I'm afraid we can't do that. And he hung up on me. So I'm going to get loads of calls from those guys. It's in the phone, otherwise I'd phone them now. Anyway, Matt, what you got for us?
I do have something I wanted to mention, but regarding that, there is my information was stolen through one of the breaches, the data breaches a few years ago.
Yes.
And for some reason this year, there is a spam company that has been calling me saying that I took out a loan in 2012 and they will send me to jail unless I pay them. And they call and leave me these threatening fake voicemails every day. And since I'm over here, it costs me 20 cents a minute every single time they leave me a voicemail.
Hang on a minute. The operator says it's 30 cents more for the next 3 minutes. That's 10 cents. Hang on a minute. And that song, Sylvia's Mother, was 1973, right? And the operator says 30 cents more for the next 3 minutes. That's 10 cents a minute. He's saying that to call America from Britain in 2018 is how many cents was it a minute?
It's 20 cents a minute.
Okay, so it's Right, OK, let me get this right. So, 1973, the operator says 30 cents more for the next 3... So that's 10 cents per minute. That's just a national. That's a national rate. And 2018, it is 20 cents...
That's double.
...per minute. Well, no. 20 cents per minute international. OK, so what we need to do now...
Oh, God.
No, we're going to work this out. We're going to work out how much it would cost. How much it would cost to call Mrs. Avery now.
From here?
Oh God, that's a good question, isn't it? Because Dennis lives in the UK now.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 20 cents a minute.
Exactly.
But that doesn't seem. That doesn't. But it probably, Matt, and you'll back me up on this. In 1973, to have called Mrs. Avery from the United Kingdom, that would probably cost like $5 a minute.
I'm American and was born in 1982. How can I answer that question?
Well, okay.
Just nod and smile, Matt, and it can all go away.
I was born in 1973,
all right,
but I still understand how
enough.
pounds, shillings and pence work. Those pre-decimalisation days were crazy. All right, what did you call in for, Matt?
Oh, jeez. So last week I called and told you I'm here, and you said go do some touristy things. So the next morning I did the most traditional British thing I could find.
Heroin.
I stood in a queue in
queue in McDonald's.
No, we're not talking about your world. Yes, that. I stood outside and did a very fake British accent in front of Buckingham Palace, thinking the Queen was there. Yes, that's what I did. I stood in line.
Yes.
In the snow.
Yes.
In the cold, in a queue.
Yeah.
I stood in a queue for an hour in the cold. I felt like I actually belonged here. Like this was the most authentic British thing I could do.
What were you queuing for, you mad American? What were you queuing for?
I actually saw a taping of QI last week.
Cool, blimey. I mean, well, we've all done that. We have to do it. It's like national service for us. Every 2 years we get called up to sit in the audience of QI.
No, in my case, it was Family Fortunes.
In my case, actually, it was the Bread Christmas special, and that's a true story. TV tapings, and I know because I've been on both sides of the audience, and the TV tapings are dull as anything, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, I do that partly. I do part-time audience fill-in work in New York, actually. So I get paid to sit in the dull, boring audience, which helps sometimes make up for it. But some of the shows are just ridiculously just dragging on. But over in I don't know if maybe it's different with QI, but in the States, most of the shows have a really crazy, wacky warm-up guy who makes everybody stand up.
Yeah. We have that in some places. Yeah.
And I'm like, I do that. Okay.
We have that in some shows, yeah.
Luckily, they didn't have it. Luckily, it was just nice and relaxing. But no, it was a good time. I definitely enjoyed it. I still do not. I don't totally understand. In a way, I do. But I know you wanted more of the snow, but how everything completely shut down over a tiny, minuscule.
Well, no, I can explain that. I can explain that because we get snow like that for 3 days once every 5 years, so we don't have the infrastructure in place to deal with it. Obviously, New York, right? But New York, you're guaranteed you're going to get, 2 months of snow, 6-7 weeks of snow every year, and it's going to be really thick and heavy. So New York has got the infrastructure and the machinery and, a huge budget to factor in for that. But we don't. We honestly, we haven't had snow like that for about 4 or 5 years. And, so everything stops, and that's fine. That's fine that everything stops. And people in this day and age where they just want to... Oh, I nearly swore then. Did you see? Did you feel that?
Oh, yes, I did.
Did you feel that?
Outrageous.
Oh, if it came out, and I just, like Top Cat with that coin in the doorman's hand, I managed to whip it back. But everybody, in this day and age where we've got to do everything, we've got to be everywhere, and people get so... It happens, and it will happen again in another 4 or 5 years, and we'll be stuck for a bit, and that's fine.
And I get that. That totally makes sense. Don't spend a ton of money on stuff that you don't need. There was part of me that wanted to go and find a shovel and just go and shovel as much as I can off of all the pavement that I could find.
Yeah.
Just it was that old instinct in me because I saw no one else. Everyone was standing around like, what should I do? I'm like, just give me the shovel. I'll clear it out.
You mustn't do that. You know why?
Well, I don't.
I'm not legally allowed to work in the United Kingdom while I'm here as a guest.
1, and 2, if anyone takes a tumble on the thing that you interfered with, it's your problem.
Hang on a second. This is the...
There's a blame, there's a claim.
This guy comes from the country that invented that culture, and
So,
if he doesn't know about
deserves it.
I think it's a myth.
I've got a neighbour, right?
Yeah.
He's always the one who'll be mowing his garden at 10 o'clock at night when babies are being put to bed and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There's always one.
Who puts babies to bed at 10 o'clock? That's bad parenting.
Well, whatever. I'm saying, he chooses his moments to do loud things. And this week he decided to clear his driveway and pile it all up in the actual street. So when I came round the corner, very carefully, people had abandoned their cars because they couldn't get them into the street. I almost went straight into this snowdrift that he'd built.
Do you know how high was it?
I'd say, I'm 5'6" and it came to about here.
Right, and how wide was it? Do you know what I'd have done? I'd have called the coppers. I'd have phoned the police. Hey, it's obstruction. He's obstructing the course of justice.
Good job I saw it.
I'd have phoned the police, anonymously, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have said, say you live at number 62, I'd have said, and he lives at number 60. I'd say, I live at number 58, the High Street. Yeah. And just the guy next door to me is, and I'd grassed him up, but pretended to be from 2 doors
and
down.
The other thing is that now all the snow has gone, but of course his half snowman is still there.
Yeah, what a wink. Matt, thank you very much for that. I was reminded of something I was going to say. Well, what was I going to say? I should write stuff down because my memory.
Was it about clearing snow?
No.
Was it about suing people?
No, don't, because it's no, it's gone now. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the phone number. Paul Ross will be on at 1 and James Max will be on at 5. Hello?
Hello, Mike.
Hello?
Hello, Laura.
Hello, why are you asking us Lauren?
Lauren, okay, fine. Are you there? Are you there with Ewan?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can ignore him.
Well, I can't because he keeps shouting in the background like the idiot he is.
Iain, be quiet. How are you?
Okay, what did you call in for?
Hello?
Yes, what did you call in for?
What's your plan? What have you been up to today?
What's my plan?
What was your plan for today?
What was my plan for today? What have you called in for?
Just a sick girl, because you're my best friend.
Jesus. Okay, thanks for calling.
Why are you...
There we go. So Rainbow George, right, used to phone up loads of different radio stations, and still does, actually, under different names, Sterling and all these different kinds of things. And he's a really interesting character in as much as he squatted in a house in Hampstead. And the law is something like, if you squat in a house for 20 or 25 years and the owner doesn't turn up, you end up owning the house. It's an incredible twist of law. And he was there for 20, 25 years, and the owner didn't turn up. And he sold the house for... the house went into his name, and he sold it for £1 million. And he spaffed most of it. I think all that money's gone. This was probably about 15 years ago, maybe. And he spent all the money on, like, some hippie political party, the Rainbow Party. But one of the bizarre quirks was he lived just down the road from Peter Cook. And we've talked a lot on this show about the calls that Peter Cook made to Clive Bull on LBC, one of the greatest broadcasters this country will ever see, as Sven, the Norwegian fisherman. Most, if not all, of those calls were done about 3 o'clock in the morning at Rainbow George's house. Peter Cook would be sloshed and he would phone up, and they're brilliant, brilliant calls. If you've not heard them, I think there's 7 or 8 of them. And they're on YouTube, and they're well worth a listen. And Rainbow George never really called me when I was at LBC. He called me a couple of times, but I think we might have locked horns. And my interest in him, he's not really allowed on LBC now because they don't like characters. You know, I use that term in small, lowercase. They don't like characters. They want sensible people to talk sensibly about Brexit and what have you. And I've heard him a couple of times on BBC London, I think I might have heard him on 5 Live as well in the last few years. But I find him fascinating, right? And he released years ago a CD called Over at Rainbows or Over at George's or something. I found it in my car yesterday, which is why he's on my... I found it in my car about 3 days ago, and then yesterday George replied to a message that I'd put on Facebook about 8 months ago. Synchronicity. I'll tell that to him if he answers the phone. That might he might, you know. And the thing about George is he would. You don't even need to answer the phone to him, Sam. Don't even need to answer the phone. The thing about George is he would record everything. Apparently, when you went round to his house, he would have a tape recorder recording all the time, and there were just stacks and stacks of cassettes. And he released a CD over at Rainbows, over at George's, and it's him having conversations with Peter Cook. Some of it's quite interesting, a lot of it's quite dull, but it's still the fact it exists is fascinating. And but 8 months ago I tried to get him on the show and we couldn't find him, and then he replied yesterday, 2 days after I'd refound his CD in my car. He replied, so he's given me his number, so I'm going to give him a call. Now, he may not want to talk to us, he may not be there. We've not really planned this call, but we'll have a go. Am I missing a number there? No. All right, let's give him a call. See. And he might be interesting, he might be dull. I don't know. You can never tell. He'll certainly go off on tangents. He won't talk about what I want to talk about. I know that much. Is it ringing?
Hello.
Hello, is that George?
It is.
Hello, George. This is Iain Lee. You're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Iain Lee. How are you?
I'm fine, man. How are you doing?
I'm still breathing.
Well, that's a surprise. Clive Ball will be pleased to know that. You replied to my Facebook message that I posted months ago. You replied yesterday. What's wrong with you, man?
I only saw it yesterday.
I tell you what's weird, right? Because I posted it about 8 months ago when I bought for the second time, because I lost my first copy, that CD you did of Peter Cook.
Right.
And so I posted that message however many months ago it was, and then I forgot about it, and then I found the CD in my car 2 or 3 days ago, and I thought, oh, Rainbow George, Peter Cook. And then you replied to my message on Facebook.
Oh.
How weird is that, man?
Well, I believe in bits of synchronicity, so it was probably meant to happen at this time.
It probably was. Have you got a couple of minutes?
Of course I have.
Hey, listen, man, it's good to talk to you. I don't know if you remember. I think because I used to be at LBC about 10 years ago, and I think we may have spoken a couple of times.
Yeah, it rings a bell somewhere.
A couple of times. But you spoke more to Clive Ball and those kind of people, and I know that now LBC doesn't like... I used the word characters earlier on, and I hope you get what I mean by that. But LBC likes people to phone up and talk sensibly about Brexit and about Trump and about Muslims and things.
Yes, well, with me, they stopped taking my calls about 10 years ago.
Was it that long ago? Wow.
And I've got no idea why, and because I had a really good relationship, especially with Clive, and the Peter Cook connection, of course.
I see Clive about once every 6 months. Me and Clive meet up for a cup of coffee. And every time we talk about you at some point or another, we go, is George still alive? And one of us will say, well, I think I heard him speaking to Dotton and he calls himself Sterling. Or Clive might say, I think I heard him on 5 Live a few months ago. So
no, I haven't been on 5 Live either. But I speak on BBC Radio London in the early hours of the morning nowadays. But I have something special coming up on April the 14th.
Go on, what's that then, man?
It's the 33rd anniversary of my first attempt to set a peaceful revolution in motion. And I'm going to be telling the story of what went wrong, essentially. I hired the Camden Palace.
Whoa, hang on a minute. The Camden Palace is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a penny to get in, but it was supposed to be £3 to get out. And I was releasing the first of what were going to be 7 one-hour tapes, and we never got past the first tape because I left. The tapes were going to be released at fortnightly intervals, and the penny party had to work for it all to be set in motion. And as I say, I left with owing the Camden Palace £3,000, and but now 33 years later, I'm going to be launching the party to end all political parties.
Not at the Camden Palace, I hope.
No, it's a small venue in Camden called the Map Music Cafe.
When are you doing this, George?
April the 14th.
Anyway, I'm just seeing what's going on. Do you mind can we come down?
That would be brilliant if you came down.
I'm coming down. Where is it in Camden again? I don't know that place.
Map Studio Cafe. I can't.
All right, we'll find it. We'll find it.
It's going to be from 7 o'clock.
Man, I'm going to be there, George. As long as nothing comes up in betwixt with the kids and stuff. But yeah, otherwise I'll be there.
It would be lovely to see you, and there are. If you look at on YouTube, if you Google Into the Mystic,
yes,
Rainbow George,
yeah.
There's a phone call, one of the first phone calls I did on the radio, January 1985, with a presenter called Mike Dickin.
Oh, you love Mike Dickin. Mike sadly passed away, didn't he?
I know.
Yeah, great presenter.
The day before, he was going to do a programme in which he was going to prove that Princess Diana had been murdered.
Hang on a minute. Are you suggesting a conspiracy theory?
Well, it's never really been talked about.
No, I didn't know that.
That link. And, but he was working on Capital Radio back in those days. And he took 5 calls from me, and then he wouldn't take any more calls.
My health is not in question. That was his line, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the first call I did with him, coming towards the end of it, he said correctly, I don't think we're ready for you yet, George. I think you've been born too soon. And the second one... I mention April the 14th a number of times because I'm looking forward to this party at the Camden Palace, and that comes into that conversation. So as I say, check that out as a bit of background, and I really look forward to seeing you. If not on April the 14th, even before that.
Well, I'd love
to do something with you.
Well, I'd love to, George. Are you still up in Hampstead?
No, I'm in a retirement home in Highgate.
Oh, okay. Can I ask about Peter Cook? Because obviously I love Peter Cook. You know, who doesn't? The calls to Clive Bull, we played a couple of them on this show, and they're just... You know, Sven the Norwegian fisherman, they're beautiful. How did you end up meeting Peter?
Well, we lived 3 doors away from each other in a mews in Hampstead. So we were close neighbours.
Yeah.
And I'd been away from London for 8 years. I moved back into my place in January 1984, January the 1st, 1984, and Peter had started up a notional party called the What Party, and Peter was appointing ministers to the What Party, and he offered me the post of Minister for Confusion, which I accepted with some alacrity, and he ordered me to go out and cause as much confusion as possible. So
you're still following orders.
So I started up my own party, Captain Rainbow's Universal Party, and entered the political arena. At the end of 1984, there was a by-election in Enfield Southgate is brought about by the Brighton bombing.
Yeah.
And Sir Anthony Berry getting killed in the bombing. And so I stood as the candidate for Captain Rainbow's Universal Party.
How many votes did you get?
Well, I was thinking I was going to sweep to victory, but I got 48 votes, and that became probably par for me over the years. And but it's a good story, and I'd love to. Well, on April the 14th, I will be telling the story that links to 33 years. Together.
Oh, mate, well, listen, I've got your number. Can I just say, by the way, George, Talk Radio has relaunched, right? So there's still Talk Sport, but there's Talk Radio. It's only on DAB and online at talkradio.co.uk. But I'm on with my friend Catherine, and we're on Monday to Friday, 10 o'clock at night until 1 o'clock. And you would be very welcome to phone up any time you want.
Lovely.
You would be you would be very welcome. We're trying to do like a sort of a show like Clive used to do. Like, don't die on us now, George. Don't. Here he goes.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
You got your breath? We're trying to do a show like the kind of, the shows that you would have got in the late 80s and early 90s where people can phone up and talk about anything, and you'd be very, very welcome, George.
I'd love to do that. What is the number?
Have you got a pen and paper?
I'll get one.
Go on then. If this is what we've got to do to drum up business, I'll happily
one
phone
at
up
a time.
Everybody one by one.
Oh, yes.
I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
Right, 0344...
Yep.
499... 1000. And when this show is on, I'm Iain Lee, I'm with Catherine, and this show is on 10 o'clock at night till 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.
Okay.
And you'd be very welcome to phone up any time you want. You want to get stuff off your chest, or you just want to chinwag, or you just want to, a little bit of nonsense, you'd be very welcome, George.
That's very sweet of you.
And it's good to hear you, man. It's really nice to hear your voice after all these years.
It's good hearing your voice.
Take care, brother.
All the best to you. Love to Catherine.
Hey, thanks very much, George.
Okay.
Cheers, George. Bye-bye. There we go. That was lovely. Oh, we'll get bored of him after a while, trust me. But that was lovely. April the 14th. Well, if I'm around then, and at the moment I am around then, I'm going to pop down, take my little tape recorder and go and see what's happening.
To 46 Grafton Road, London, NW5.
Is that where it is? I sort of know roughly where it is. Fascinating. If dear listener, if you have listened to phone-in radio, particularly late-night radio, at any point over the last 25 years, you will definitely have heard Rainbow George, Sterling, a couple of other names he's gone by. You will definitely have heard him, and that was a real thrill for me. OK, the phone lines are empty. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. This is the late-night alternative with me, Iain Lee, on Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
Archie, let me just see Archie's other texts before I read that one out. Oh, no, OK. Energy doesn't die, it just changes shape, says Archie. These are old ones. OK, no, I mean, some of these make sense, some of them don't. The latest text, and text 25 pence plus your standard message rate, 87222, start with the word talk. Although we don't really do text here, but Iain, you must know Diana got bumped off for sleeping with a Muslim. Well, of course I know that. Of course I know that. I work for the Zionist media. Of course I know that. We all know that. We've all seen the video. You guys won't get to see the video, of course, but we've all seen it. Of course we have. But thanks anyway for reminding me. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Okay, there we go. If you want to give us a call, the switchboard is empty right now. So I got this VR unit, virtual reality unit. Mm-hmm. You know what VR? Why am I telling you what VR stands for? What an idiot! All right, Grandad. All right, Grandad. The PIN number, but personal identification number.
Don't look now, but there's someone at the back who didn't know that.
So I got this VR unit, this virtual reality unit for the PlayStation. I got it for free.
Magic goggles?
Yeah. I got it for free because it cost like 360 quid or something, right? And I was thinking, oh, I'll have a go, but I'm not expecting much, right? So I downloaded one game that someone recommended, but then you've got to buy a special controller for it. So that was no use. So then I downloaded the demo game that comes with it. And that was kind of cute. You're in the first one. You're in like a sort of someone's bedroom playing a grabber machine, and you can turn around behind you. It's basically got these goggles on. You're playing a game, and you can look everywhere. You can look everywhere, and and you turn around. There's these robots behind you, and when you turn around, they get excited and wave at you. That's good. Then within this demo, there was another game, right, where you're controlling a little robot, and you make him move forward. And as you move forward, the scenery, it's like a mountaintop. Like pathway comes towards you, and as it's coming towards me, I'm like wobbling all over the place because my brain, it's confusing my brain. Have you played it, Sam? So it's coming towards you, and I'm like, whoa, because it confuses you. Your brain thinks you're moving, so it tries to compensate for it. So I played that, and that was kind of fun, but it was a demo game. And then someone said, get a game called Moss. Right. So I got this game, and I downloaded it. Right. Flipping it, man! It's incredible, right? You start off, you're in the cathedral, and I'm just in there going, and you're looking around, and you can see particles of dust just floating past you. And you're in a cathedral, and there's candles there and stuff, and the floor is there. In some of the games, you have a shadow.
Oh,
and you're there, and there's a book in front of you, big book. You've got to turn the pages of the book, right? And that was a bit boring because it's a boring story. And then you go into the game and you control this little mouse, right? And in this, you don't move with the scenery. So you're sort of stood in... Well, you're sort of stood in a river, right? And in front of you, there's like a sort of countryside scene, and there's trees, and there's like a little roots, and there's like a little pathway, and you can look behind you, and you can look up, and there's the moon up there, and all of that. And and this mouse comes trundling down, and you get control of the mouse, right? And you move the mouse around, and the scene stays still for this game. The mouse walks off, and then a new scene appears, and the mouse comes on from there, and you've got to solve puzzles and things, right? And you've got to move blocks around, and you've got to climb over things and get round things. And it's not the hardest game in the world. But so I'm stood there, right, and there's a block. I've got to pull a block, and I've got to move a block across, and the tree's got to go through this. The mouse has got to go through this thing. And I'm thinking, well, I wonder, I can't see the way. What if there's a hole behind that tree? And so I leant over and down, right? And you can look around the tree. And I'm doing this going, flip it. Honestly, you go down, you go round, and you can see behind the tree.
Now, I know you've offered to let me have a go on this, but bearing in mind I can fall over from standing still.
Yeah, oh, God,
that's
mate.
probably not the best idea.
I got motion sickness on this one, as I knew I would, and I started to get a bit of a migraine. But I'm playing it, and I streamed it on YouTube, right? So people were watching it, and I watched back some of the footage. And, of course, what you see on YouTube is a two-dimensional video game, right? That's it. It's a 2D video game. But when you got the goggles on, and I put headphones on as well, so I'm totally immersed, it doesn't look like a video game. It looks like a real forest and like a sort of little robot mouse that you're controlled, like a remote control mouse. And there's a bit you can revive the mouse. And she turns around and she waves at you and gives you the thumbs up. You're like, flip it. It is the most incredible. Listen, here's the thing, right? Here's the news. It's a gimmick, right? It's a gimmick in the same way that 3D was a gimmick for films and games. It's a gimmick, and that is it, right? But it's a great gimmick. I'm not going to go nuts and I've spent quite a bit of money on it already, but buying games and controllers. You can buy a gun controller.
Oh, God.
But then I was talking to Andy Goldstein, and he was telling me, now, can someone back me up on this, right? Let's just tread carefully. He said,
yes,
you can download pornography for it. Like, so you're stood in... And I said, well, why don't I just go and have sex with an actual woman? And then he said, he made a very coarse joke. But so you can be in a pornography, and you're looking around, you're going, well, but there's no one here. And then you look down.
Oh, my. Oh, my God. Flipping heck.
Now, obviously, You haven't got the thing to give you the sensation of that. But as Andy said, just get the vacuum cleaner.
Oh, my God. Right.
And this technology is incredible.
Alternatively, get a flipping life.
Sorry?
You're never going to go out.
Well, this is why I want you to come round.
What?
I snotted then. I do apologise. I snotted. Honestly, it is the most incredible thing. And people are saying, "Oh, get Resident Evil," but I don't like. The new Resident Evil game isn't very good, and I've kind of seen I've watched a walkthrough of it, so there's not really much point. But then someone said get the new Batman game, and then someone said get the new Skyrim game, and then they're like 35, 40 quid each, and then you're starting to spend serious. I've already spent 40 quid on a controller, so
that'll do.
You know, that'll do. But you can download you can only download like a classical concert and being a bit. Oh, I tell you what will work as well. In fact, I'm going to try this when I get home. We shot some stuff in 360 with the camera, right?
Yeah.
And they're on YouTube, right? So, am I right in thinking if I watch a 360 YouTube video, I'm looking at Sam because he's a kid.
He's a child.
If I watch a 360 video YouTube with the goggles on, all I'm going to see is The Office here because that's what we did.
And you were here in real life, so
I'm going to be able to watch myself, and I'm going to be able to look at my own arse.
What? Who needs pornography?
Wowzers! Hi, Ian. Diana didn't get bumped off by sleeping with a Muslim. It was an Indian doctor. OK, well, I'm glad we've cleared that up. 0344 499 1000. Why was Diana bumped off? This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
0344 499 1000. Good evening, Morgan.
Hip, hip, hip.
Hip, hip, hip.
How are you doing today?
I'm all right, mate. What you got for us?
Well, obviously you're talking about VR, and this is a bit in my, era.
Here we go.
That's all right.
Yeah, you get in there, buddy. You tell me about it.
You were talking about how good it is.
Yes.
Or how immersive it is.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a thing called Microsoft HoloLens?
Microsoft HoloLens? No, I've not heard of that. Go on.
Right, get Kath to type in on Google.
Well, Google is technically banned on the show this evening,
but
so I can't.
If Morgan tells me to, I can.
OK, fine. Go on, then.
Microsoft what?
Yeah. HoloLens.
All right. Let's have a look.
So, instead of virtual reality, where you've just got a black screen and it's a game, it's actually like wearing glasses, and the game comes up in your actual. So, say I'm sitting on the table, it will come up on the table.
Oh, like
like a hologram,
like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, so it's augmented reality.
Yes, and it's very impressive. A lot more impressive than virtual reality.
I think you'll find it's called mixed reality.
It's a variation on augmented reality. They just come up with their own thing. Right. Let me stop you there. It looks rubbish, right? Because listen, that looks rubbish, right? Because I was in a cathedral in my flat. I was in a cathedral. I wasn't looking at a table with a cathedral on it. I was in a cathedral.
Yeah, but you can build a car, and then you can actually build
and then drive it.
So the plans onto a computer, and then you can actually build a car. It's hard to.
You would like French Mechanic Simulator 2018. Simulation. You'd like that. and that is an insult to you.
Here's the thing, Morgan. Ian's got an actual car.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm too young to drive.
Well, I'll give you a lift if you want. I'm that kind of guy.
You know what? I'll actually offer that.
No, actually, I probably should. It's probably inappropriate. It is inappropriate. I'll take that back.
Not at all.
Yeah, well, U-tree and stuff. So I'm not going to. But trust me, I've got a luxurious Volkswagen Polo. It's a 2013 model. Great year.
It's only half full of sandwich boxes.
That sounds amazing.
The hollow, what they call holocraps.
HoloLens.
The holo specs sound and look, I'm going to be honest, rubbish, and they won't catch on. They're the Betamax of the VR's VHS.
Yeah, that's true.
And I fought in the Betamax wars, and I lost. Well, they're called the VHS Wars because the winners win. I still call them the Betamax Wars, but there we go. I'm a bad loser. Morgan, thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Lewis. Good evening, Lewis.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Lewis.
Hello, Ian.
Yes.
Hi. I just wanted to speak about VR and give you a couple of recommendations that I hope people haven't already told you.
OK. Are they going to be really expensive? And am I going to have to buy loads of expensive equipment? Because some fella phoned up and told me about a game called Hot Space or Sexy Time or something, and I downloaded it for like 20 quid, and then I went to play it and it wouldn't work, and it's because you've got to buy a controller for like 35 quid.
I mean, if it's called Sexy Time, I think £30 is worth it. But
it wasn't good. It's called like Super Hot. That was it, Super Hot.
OK, I've not heard of that, but what I can give you... Have you heard of escape rooms?
Yeah. You get locked in a room for an hour, you've got to try and work your way out, yeah.
Exactly. So there's a game on the PlayStation VR called I Expect You to Die, which is essentially a James Bond-themed...
I saw that listed, yeah.
You should get it, because it's a James Bond-themed escape room, essentially, where you've got about 7 different levels, loads of different ways of trying to escape without dying. There's loads of ways to die.
Alternatively, cut price version, I'll lock you in your flat.
Lock me in the flat and shut the key out the window. No, that sounds... How much is that one?
It's fairly cheap. I got it on discount about a month ago for about £5.
I'm in.
I'm not sure if it's still discounted.
Hey, what is this? Now, this is... Honestly, because you can go on the PlayStation, it'll list all the games you could buy, right?
Yes.
What is this one? Now, this is a real game. Job Simulator.
Oh, my God.
That's what we're doing now, isn't it?
Have you... What even is that?
I think it's what it says on the tin.
But I think you could... This is true, right? And someone can phone me up and correct me. I think the game is you work in McDonald's. You work in McDonald's.
I've just been to McDonald's. It was very nice.
Well, would you like to work there for and you don't even get paid, and you can't even eat burgers? Right. And then there was another game. I'm sure I've got this right. These are the VR games. And it's called Accounts Manager.
Well, that sounds fun.
I can't have dreamt Accounts Manager. Hang on a minute. I'm Googling that.
Is that to make accountancy fun? Is that what it is?
Accounts Manager PS for VR. Let's have a look. Is that a game?
I mean, people are paying $9,000 a year to become accountants, so you can just pay £30 and do it on your PlayStation. It's great.
I don't know whether it's legally
games.
Dicey, though. I don't know whether you can do it on there.
Right, so here's the VR game. Star Trek The Bridge Crew. That looks rubbish. World War... just give me a list of all the games. Here we go. Right, here we go. We'll find all the games. Hang on. Surviving Mars. That looks rubbish.
But you're looking for Accounts Manager.
No, I want
just so to be clear.
Please. Okay, right. Let's click on... How do I find all the... PlayStation VR. Right, click on this. This is thrilling listening for everybody, but I'm kind of obsessed now.
Can I give you one more recommendation?
Yeah, please. He's getting bored of it. Yeah, go on.
I'm sure that someone's probably already given this. I know you said Resident Evil earlier. I'm not going to say that because I tried that recently with VR and it just made me sick. It was no good. It was no fun. Don't get that. What you should get if you do want a horror-related game is Until Dawn: Rush of Blood, which is an on-rails shooter, essentially, where you're on a roller coaster, there's things to shoot. It sounds rubbish, but it's amazing in VR.
All right. Okay. Well, all right. Well, Lewis, I'll have a little look at that. Thank you very much indeed. Very, very helpful. Hello, Sarah.
Oh, hi, Ian. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm trying to find a complete list of PlayStation VR games.
Despite the fact that 10 minutes ago you said you were not going to buy any more.
Well, come on. Here we go. List of PlayStation VR games. Here we go. Right. So, The 100 Wonders of Japan, Fuji, the Holy Mountain. Right, okay, we get those. Ace Banana, Albino Lullaby, the Apollo Experience, Blasters of the Universe. That sounds rubbish. Chess, virtual reality.
They all sound rubbish.
Shut your face, you miserable cat.
They do, though. You're right.
Here's one you like, Kath. Dick Wilde.
Oh, I wrote that one.
Yeah, we go. Drunken Bar Fight. Oh.
Again, I wrote that one.
Oh, I like that.
I'll hold your coat and tell you it's not worth it.
You talked to... There we go, Job Simulator.
Oh, gosh.
Here you go, click on this, right? Job Simulator.
I've flipped burgers. I don't need to do it again for
Job
fun.
Simulator is a virtual reality simulation video game in which the player participates in comical approximation of real-world jobs. This is a game, right? Players participate in simulated jobs in a job museum run by robots. The jobs are represented as tongue-in-cheek approximations of real occupations: auto mechanic, gourmet chef, store clerk, and office worker. For example, in The Office Worker, players engage in activities like evaluating new employees and transferring calls.
And photocopying their
but
behind.
are also called upon to eat donuts, share photos at the water cooler, and participate in other tasks.
Yeah.
That sounds wicked.
Actually, when you were reading it out, I was thinking, that sounds quite good.
It does sound wicked. Anyway, Sarah, what have you got?
Oh,
you sound surprised. You sound surprised that I was going to ask you at some point for...
Yeah, I was actually, but I thought you were going to carry on about these jobs, but obviously...
No, I bore myself there. Here's the thing. I've learned years of doing this, 15 years of doing this job. I've learned that if I'm bored, then the listener was bored about 30 minutes ago. So time to move on. Time to move on. What have you got for us, Sarah?
I'm asking, well, not about divorce.
Yes.
Because advice from me.
Yes.
Because I'm going through one.
Yes.
Horrendous.
Yes.
So I am a stay-at-home mum with 4 kids. So my husband is the breadwinner, and he's gone through a divorce. And the current situation is I have been served with the decree nisi, but the financial side of things haven't been sorted out.
Okay. Oh.
So what happens? Because my solicitor's sort of saying that my husband could then just go for the absolute, and then I'm sort of...
Yeah, you're supposed to get the financial stuff sorted out before you get the nisi, aren't you?
I haven't got a clue, because he did the petition, and then it all went very quiet, and I'm thinking, well, what's happening? And then I got through about 2 weeks ago. Oh, we're ready to exchange the financial stuff, and now I've got the decree nisi coming up.
Well, hang on a minute. Your solicitor should have been talking to his solicitor about the financial stuff and fighting your corner, and he'd have made a crap offer, and your solicitor's gone, no. Your solicitor would have gone and made a really silly offer, and their solicitor's gone, no, and back and forth. That's how they make their money.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened. That hasn't happened. He's just said he's ready to exchange, and I'm still sort of...
Mate, don't go any further. Do not go any further with your divorce until you've got the finances sorted out. How much he's going to pay you for the kids, how much he's going to pay you, what's going to happen to the house, all of that stuff.
So how can I, because my solicitor's saying that she's a bit concerned, but can she actually stop it?
Hang on a minute. Sam, is this live news or pre-recorded? Pre-recorded. All right, we can talk a bit longer. Listen, I don't know. I would suggest you've got a crap solicitor, being completely honest, because they should have been on this straight. So what did you say to them when you went in and said, right, I'm getting divorced? What did you say?
Well, I had the petition, and then we didn't hear anything else. I signed the petition. He put the petition through to say that he wanted a divorce.
Yeah.
Back in perhaps November, and then everything went quiet and we didn't hear anything. And I thought, what was happening? And she said, well, we haven't heard anything. Let's just wait till we hear something. And then wham, I get the night. He's then ready to exchange the financial stuff about 2 weeks ago. And we're sort of now doing the financial stuff. So it's all a bit...
Well, hang on a minute, because a decree nisi... hang on a minute, here we go. A decree nisi is a court order that does not have any force unless a particular condition is met. Once the condition is met, the ruling becomes a decree absolute. So what's the condition on the decree nisi then?
I've got no idea.
Typically, the condition is that, I'm just reading this from Wikipedia, is that an adversely affected party fail to provide satisfactory evidence or argument that the decree nisi should not take effect.
You can't do that.
So that's just saying what one of you has got to go, no, I don't want to get divorced. Right. It says here you can object to the divorce. Again, this is from Wikipedia, right? So don't, speak to your solicitor about this. Don't take this.
Or get a different solicitor.
I would suggest get a different solicitor. I really would.
I've changed to this one. She's supposed to be really good.
Well, she sounds crap, if I'm honest, right? Because you can stop the you can stop the divorce. The divorce is going to happen, according to this, in 6 weeks from you getting that nice eye. So you need to stop the divorce because. If he sounds, I don't know the situation, but if that divorce becomes absolute before your financial stuff is sorted out, you could be, and I don't know your husband, maybe he's a man of his word and a man of honour, I don't know, but let's assume for the sake of this that he's not, you could be screwed and he won't owe you anything.
That's scary.
I know.
I think the nice side becomes effect end of March.
Right, you've got 3 weeks.
She's going to have to do something quick, isn't she?
So you need to speak to your solicitor first thing tomorrow morning, right?
First thing tomorrow, I'm going to be on the blow.
Say, I'm really worried about my fight. I'm really worried. We haven't got anything in writing. What is going to happen? And if she blathers on. And you're
she said she was concerned.
So hang on a minute. Who did? Was the decree at Nyside? Was that done through the first solicitor?
No, second solicitor.
So this one.
Well, she can't just shrug her shoulders then.
She's dropped a bollock. I know it's expensive, but I really suggest. Here's what I suggest.
Oh God.
Some solicitors will give you a free consultation. Just before you go with them, right? Some will give you free consultation. I suggest tomorrow you phone up 3 solicitors and you explain exactly what is going on and exactly where you are, and you get their 3 answers, and you then phone up your solicitor and say, I'm really worried, what is going on? And you see if her answer correlates with what the other 3 have told you. And if you're not happy, phone up one of those people that you got on with in the first 3 phone calls and say, I want to come with you. Can you take it over, please?
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, my husband, my ex, he's only just said he's ready to exchange the financial details about 2 weeks ago. So
where is it then?
Not that...
If he was ready to exchange it 2 weeks ago, well, where is it then? Where is it? He should have done it 13 days ago.
Because we hadn't done it, you see. We hadn't even started ours. So I'm sort of scrapping around getting all my stuff and waiting for pension stuff. It's just a nightmare. Okay, this is what I would do, and I'm not advising you to do this. If I was in your position, I would stop the divorce. I would stop the divorce, because sorting out the financial stuff takes ages. I think that's what she's going to say, that until the financial stuff is done, she's going to do it. And
you got to call it off, and it'll be a little bit more expensive, but you've got to. This is what I would do. I can't advise you because I don't know about any of this stuff. I'm not legal or anything.
Financial stuff.
I would speak to 2 or 3 other solicitors. I would speak to your solicitor after you've spoken to the 2 or 3 other solicitors, and just say, look, can I bend your ear for 20 minutes on the phone? I don't want to pay you for it, and hopefully you'll get a couple that'll be quite good. You might have to ring about half a dozen, but you should get 2 or 3 that will be able to talk to you. I know what some people do is there is to make it cheaper than going back and forth with the solicitors. They go to mediation, where the 2 people sit in the room and they write down in one chart how much money and assets you've got. They write down in another chart assets that your husband's got. They talk about how much money it's going to cost to feed and clothe the kids every month. And there's a thing online where the person, whoever the main provider is, types in how much money they earn and how many nights a week they're going to have the kids, and it will tell them what their weekly maintenance payment should be.
That's it, yeah.
Sarah, don't panic, right? Because this can all be sorted, but you need to pull your finger out, is what I'd say. But don't
I'm
panic.
I'm going to pull my finger out tomorrow. Oh my God. But yeah.
First thing tomorrow morning, when you've got the kids out of the house, get on the phone.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Ian.
Let us know how it goes.
Yes, we will do. Thank you so much.
Ta-ta, thanks very much. See, if only there was like a VR divorce simulator, I could live this for her and then explain it to her. 03444991000. We're really late for the news, but who cares? It's Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
He has made a covenant with the night, and with the darkness he is in agreement.
Uncut, after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
03444991000. Iain Lee is here. Catherine Boyle is here.
Hello.
We're here until 1 o'clock. Then Paul Ross takes over. Then James Max at 5 o'clock. You can listen to us on DAB or download the app. You can even watch us if you go to youtube.com/rabbit hole. Crappy weekend. So tonight we are just dicking around. Speaking of dicks, it's Gary.
Oh, thanks a lot.
You're very welcome, Gary. Take me off speakerphone before I punch you in the face.
The speakerphone was off.
Yeah, take me off speakerphone.
Hey, you're off speakerphone. I'm outside.
Oh gosh, wow! It sounds like you've fallen down a well.
No, I just want to talk about, do you know Little Sobo and Fall Guy?
The what?
The Fall Guy.
The Fall Guy. It's funny, when I can't hear someone, I always lean closer to the microphone as though that somehow is going to make it easier.
I'll go outside. It's very cold.
Okay. No, it's not. Beautiful.
I'm outside now.
Okay, good for you.
I just want to talk about the Fall Guy.
Yes, sir! Yes!
Well, the Fall Guy, I have a funny story about that. Broke my arm. Well, it's not a funny story. I broke my arm and bust my nose doing stunts, doing Fall Guy when I was younger.
What stunts were you doing?
Falling off, what do they call it? Sheds and shit. Sheds and stuff.
Sheds and shit. You stood on top of a shed and you tossed yourself off?
Jumping off with my mates. That was funny.
Yeah.
But back it there.
And you broke your arm. Beautiful.
Well, at school.
Just think, and kids these days, and this is the problem with the whole world,
They're
Gary.
on PlayStation nowadays.
Kids these days are not allowed to climb on sheds and jump off them and pretend to be Colt Seavers anymore.
I know, it's funny, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. If you've got kids, wake them up, get them on top of the shed and order them to jump at gunpoint if necessary.
Let them get mucky outside.
Yeah, get mucky.
Get mucky. Go on.
And when he says mucky, he means literally covered in mud. He doesn't mean anything.
Covered in mud, yeah.
Yeah, covered in mud. But wake them up now. Get a gun, get a knife, order them outside.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Make them climb up a tree, and when they start crying, make them climb higher.
Yeah.
And then we're at the top of the tree, set fire to the bottom of it.
Little Snowball and the Incredible Hulk. You should have the Incredible Hulk themed all the ending.
I've just got it. I thought it said Louis Sobo. Littlest Hobo.
Littlest Hobo, yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
Do you remember Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, the end theme, of course, to the Incredible Hulk is it's the saddest bit of music
theme tune
ever. Can you sing it?
I know. Something like that.
See, I think it goes dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. No, that's no. Hang on a minute. That's the end is now. The end is near. Hang on a minute. Dun dun. If I had a keyboard here, I'm going to bring a keyboard in one night and we'll do it. Dun. Hang on a minute. I've just found a keyboard. Hang on. Here we go. I think.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling. Hang on a second. If I dig my old keyboard out from under here. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Yeah, I think it goes something like this. There we go. There we go. Something like this. Just jump.
Yeah.
Is it this? Is it this?
It doesn't. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Have I got it? Hang on. Oh, I remember it.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So good. Impressive.
I'm vamping a little bit. I don't know this bit. Then it goes back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
He's walking down the street with a backpack on.
Yeah. Trying to hitch a ride, but no one will pick him up because he's the Incredible Hulk.
He's walking in his snowboard. Well, that one good.
Hang on. I've got it now. I've got it.
I'm laughing because he's doing a funny piano face.
I've got to concentrate. I've not played piano for ages.
Very good.
Very nippy.
Is that right? Have I got this right? Hang on, it goes like this. Dun, 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 dun. If in doubt, just go back to the chorus. Don't bore us, get to the chorus. Sing along, Gary.
So sad.
I'm showing off a little bit now. It's not quite as dramatic.
This is longer than I remember.
Yeah, well, there we go. The ending. I can't remember how it ends. So.
Promise?
Just making it up.
And then,
hey, that wasn't bad.
No.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Was it, Gary?
It was all right, yeah.
That was all right.
And now, how did Lily Sobo go?
Lily Sobo, I can't remember, you know.
Thanks very much for calling. That's not bad. Forgot I had that piano under there. Forgot about that. We'll get that out a bit more often. So I think I've got arthritis.
Oh, you wouldn't know from that playing.
No,
it's excellent.
I know, thank you. I need to play more because it's good exercise. It's good hexercise. It's good sexercise.
Oh, God, no.
So I find my hands every morning. I go, what are you doing down there? Come back up here, guys. You're not supposed to be playing with that. You know that. That's not for you. Get your hands, get up your hands. And slowly my left hand comes up and my right hand right hand, you're the naughtiest of the hands. Get back up here, boy. And the left hand has to go down and go around there and doesn't, but then it grabs the right hand and it pulls the right hand up and the right hand's fighting and it's holding on to my dingle. I'm going, let go of the dingle, boy, let go of the dingle. And in the end, the left hand has to get the gun that's in my bedside table.
Gosh.
And it points the gun and eventually the right hand comes up and then I put a handcuff on it.
That escalated, didn't it?
But I have to handcuff my right hand to my dingle.
Seriously, man.
Wow, you can tell Kath was upset there because she said man. Put that in the papers, you absolute bastards!
Oh, I'm gonna keep more stuff to myself. We just got a charming.
Put that in the Mirror and the Mail, you absolute scum-sucking knobs.
A charming insight into the celebrity lifestyle.
So I've got arthritis.
A new magazine.
I've got arthritis, right? And because I find do you ever do this, right?
No.
Forget what I just
said.
said.
Say no now.
Do you ever try and catch a glimpse at your body without your body knowing it?
No.
Have you not done that?
No.
I
know where it is.
I try to catch my legs sometimes, right? Unawares.
What?
I try to catch them unawares.
All right.
But more often I try and catch my hands unawares, right?
Wow.
So I try and look at my hands without them knowing. Right?
Tragic comic sneaks up on hands.
And picks up a needle full of jazz and injects it in his eye. So what I do is sometimes I'll be watching telly or I'll be driving or I'll be sat on the bus and I go, look at my hands now. But I do it subtly, right?
So your hands don't know?
Yeah, I do. This is true. And sometimes, as I'm thinking about it, I feel my hands getting into a more friendly position.
Friendly position?
I was going to say appropriate position, but then it would imply they were in an appropriate position. I don't want to speak badly about my hands because I think they've got arthritis.
But they do act up.
So, 2 years ago, I'd look down at my hands and they'd just be flat. Just like that. See, they're on the table and they're just flat. Flat. Just chilling out. Hands would be just chilling out. I'm not the only one that does this.
Yes, you are.
Okay. My hands would just be chilling out. Right? They'd just relax. But now, in the last 3 months, I've been looking at my hands, right? I can't do it now because I've been thinking about my hands.
They're clawed.
And they're clawed like this. This is their relaxing
position. That's more cupped than
their
clawed.
relaxing position. Well. Don't tell the Queen bit; she'll be all over it. So, but normally they're relaxed. But the relaxed position was flat, laid out, flat,
chilled
stretched
out,
just chilled out. But now it's like you say, cupped. They're like this,
like Action Man.
Yeah, or like Lego people. So you could slide like a sign in there, right? So it's like that. So I think, and they hurt. Those two things combined, that's arthritis. That's the early sign. So, what I'm doing is I've ordered off of the dark web.
Oh God!
Some cortisone and steroid injections. Right? You can get them. You can get them on the internet from Russia.
Sounds legit.
You know that fella, the spy that was murdered. Right? First time I heard the story, I thought it said, the one at the moment is still ill. Not dead yet. I'm like that BBC News reporter who stood in front of tower number 11, tower number 7, and tower number 7's fallen down and it's in the shop behind him. Oops. What do I know? My Zionist... Anyway, so the fella that's been poisoned, right, I thought the news story, when I heard it, right, I was thinking, flipping it. And today it's been announced that a gentleman who turns out to be a Russian spy has been poisoned in Sainsbury's. He was in Salisbury.
Right.
So
I can see the mistake. I can see the mix-up there.
So I'm thinking, I'm not going to go to Sainsbury's anymore then if there's there's toxic stuff going on.
Or spy for Russia. But that's over.
Or Salisbury. So here's what I've ordered these injections online. I'm going to inject into my knuckles cortisone, and then of course I'm not going to do a stupid thing to do, but I do think I've got arthritis. 0344 499 1000. That was fun. This is Late Night Alternative on Talk Radio.
The wild man of late night radio.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Is there going to be an ambush of me tomorrow on The Right Stuff? Will they ask me questions that I've told them are strictly off limits? I kind of suspect there will be. And it's genuinely live, that programme. It's one of the few television programmes that are live. And if they ask me, about the stuff that was in the papers at the weekend, which my agent has told them is off limits, and I've told them is off limits, it's going to be an exciting bit of TV. So I would say it's a long old show, a couple of hours, get a blank tape, whack it in, press record at the start, and let's see what happens. Good evening, Anthony.
Evening.
Right? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Switch your radio off, please.
I'm just busy turning it down.
No, switch it off.
2 seconds.
Okay.
Right, there we go, it's off. Right, I've just turned off 2 minutes ago. I heard you about cortisone injections.
Yes.
I have rheumatoid arthritis in my left leg, my left foot, and my left toe.
How did you catch it?
Well, I don't know how I caught it.
Were you hanging out with old people or something?
No, well, originally I thought I'd kicked a stick from my dog, and it was just a small stick, but it was frozen to the ground, and I thought I had broken toe. So I kept going back to the doctors, and I was like, look, I'm in serious pain here.
Yeah.
And I think he thought I was blagging him for like painkillers,
Yeah.
But eventually they put us on codeine, and which are highly addictive. I was on the show the other night about cannabis and how I'm all for legalisation for it.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why is the codeine that I get it's highly addictive.
Yes.
I've now built up a tolerance against it.
Yes.
It doesn't kill the pain anymore, but I get CBD. Do you know what CBD is? The opposite of THC. Where you have cannabis, you have tetrahydrocannabinol is what gets you high.
Yeah.
CBD is like the painkiller inside of it.
Okay.
Right. So I was on the codeine, and they were willing to just keep putting the dose up and up and up. But I was offered an operation as well, which is a fusion operation, where they would fuse me foot from my ankle down.
I've heard that. So you can't move your foot?
Well, I haven't had it yet.
No, but is that what it is? They fuse the foot to the ankle so it doesn't move up and down anymore?
Aye, and my toes.
That's nuts, man.
It would be like basically like clubfoot, so I would have to learn how to walk again, and anxiety and that. I just cannot bear the thought of going to that operation.
Nope.
So they keep upping me opiates, the codeine, but recently, because I'll fully admit I'm a weed smoker.
Yeah. You've told us that a couple of times now. Yeah.
Weed smoker for pleasure, but
yes.
high in THC these days, and it gets you high. It also gets you paranoid. But I've been getting CBD drops, and that take an oil that you drop under your tongue.
Yes.
And it honestly it kills the pain from the arthritis. And I never feel it when I have them drops. I never ever feel the pain again. So I'm fully for legalising cannabis.
And you've told us that a couple of times, yes.
But
I use lemon drops, and I'm fully for the legalisation of lemon drops.
Lemon drops? What sweets?
Yeah, the sweeties you get, the old ladies' sweeties. Yeah.
I mean, I like figures.
Well, thanks for that insight into your life. I appreciate it.
No, it's a fact though. Like CBD, I mean, like the THC, and now you're like you're gonna cut us off any second.
Okay. You remind me. There's a great story in the paper today. Listen to this. Right.
Is it really boring and long?
Right. I'm going to read you the headline, right, and you're going to answer the headline. Okay.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, there's Darren Gough with his hair done on the back.
Was Labrador Ella's cancer really cured by owner's healing hands?
No, of course it wasn't.
There we
Silly
go. Thank you very much indeed.
Unless her healing hands were those of a vet. I'm guessing not.
As a retired healer...
No. She's giving it all up.
Avril Priestley is a true believer in the power of love.
Oh.
The power of love. Third one?
The whisper.
No, I was on the line. You can't lead up to it. You've got to get straight into the line.
Sometimes I am frightened, but I'm ready to learn for the power of love.
Imagine that. 3 number-1 songs in the same year, all called The Power of Love. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
It was a powerful year.
So when her beloved Labrador, Ella, was diagnosed with bone cancer, she put her heart and soul into caring for the pet and laying on hands.
Slow hand.
Almost a year on, the disease has disappeared, leaving vets amazed. Experts had suggested Ella would die within weeks without the amputation of one of her legs and a course of chemotherapy. You missed the chance to put wheels on instead of legs? I'm going to chop my dog's legs off anyway and put some wheels on. That would be awesome. But Mrs. Priestley, 73, and her husband, Andy, don't get Andy's age, yes we do, he's 63, it says it later on.
Thank goodness.
Decided the 5-year-old dog should simply enjoy the life she had left rather than endure agonising treatment.
Mm-hmm.
They let Ella dine on steak, pork loin and chicken.
Dine? With a knife and fork?
Allowed her to sleep on their bed. They even let Ella hump their legs. Meanwhile, as well as giving Ella small doses of painkillers, Mrs. Priestley carried out regular treatment, laying her hands with love. That don't sound too appropriate to me, boy.
Well, not your hands.
Incredibly, the cancer vanished.
Right.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
It's
incredible. Literally incredible.
It is incredible. Ella's vet, Dr. Chris Vogt, at the Poslow Veterinary Clinic in Exeter, said, "We like her devoted owners. I started with Ella's story and could not be happier with the outcome."
I'm sorry, I don't speak German. What was that?
The Priestleys first became concerned about Ella when they noticed her limping last year. The couple, who at the time lived in Barnsley, took their pet to the local vet, and scans in April showed Ella had bone cancer. Mr. Priestley, 63, said, "We were told," they're all German in this apparently, "about an urgent amputation in the course of chemotherapy. We could not expect her to live much longer than another 4 weeks. Ella was such an important part of our family. But at the same time, there was no certainty of successful outcome. And we didn't want to spend money." So the couple decided they would make whatever life their dog had left one of minimal suffering and maximum joy.
There's a song in that.
In the new year, having moved to Exeter, the Priestleys decided to go to their new local vet to check on the progress of the cancer. Mr. Priestley said, We thought maybe Ella was enjoying a brief renaissance prior to the final decline. Well, that sounds a little bit unpleasant, the final decline in that
It does.
accent, doesn't
Move on.
So Alfred and I were amazed when the vet ran and said there has been a miracle. There's no sign of the cancer. Mrs. Priestley said, we will never know if it was the healing.
How come she's not from Germany?
Mixed race. Wait, hang on, I've got this is a trick. Go on. Mrs. Priestley said, we will never know if it was the healing. But Andy and I are just thrilled to have Ella back.
Oh, God. Don't do it. Don't do it anymore.
Mrs. Priestley became a healer 20 years ago after being zapped by an electrical spider from the planet Zooton. After being inspired by the recovery of her granddaughter, Paige Gill, she said, when Paige was 18 months...
No, please stop.
She fell into a swimming pool and almost died. She spent months in hospital and was sent healing messages from all over the world. Today, Paige is 23 and nearly dry.
She spent months in hospital. Why do they not flag up that bit?
Okay. Although very rare, there are reports of cancers spontaneously disappearing, not only in animals, but also in humans. Scientists believe in these cases the body may trigger an immune response against specific antigens displayed. So here we go. Here's what happened.
There's a science part.
1. The cancer healed itself. It does happen. 2.
Misdiagnosed.
And that happens a lot, particularly at the vets, because quite often, particularly with X-rays, they have to it all gets sent off, and stuff comes out and they get sent off. Dog never had cancer. Option 3.
Magic hands.
This woman has got magic hands. Reach out for the healing hands. Reach out for the healing hands. Healing Hands was a #1 song for Elton John, but no one remembers it because it was a double A side. What was the other side?
Oh, I know this.
Oh, no, hang on, I've got it wrong. Healing Hands was a #1 song for Elton John, but it's the one that everyone remembers. No one remembers the other side that was also a #1 song because it was a double A side. So Healing Hands, and it had a picture of him when he had like his little blonde wig on, and he had like a sort of Thunderbird's hat on the front.
Yes,
remember it?
yes.
Reach out for the healing
Was
hands.
it in the club at the end of the street?
That's where we meet. That's where we meet.
Was it that one?
That's where we meet. Me and you rendezvous at the club at the end of the street. Yep, that's the one. Thanks very much.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
That's where we meet. That's where we meet. That's where we meet. That's where we meet. Me and you having a poo at the club at the end of the street. That's where we meet.
Or as my little sister thought it was, me and you, one day boo. One day boo.
It's this is classic. This is
It's
classic
got cartoon Elton.
This is this is Elton John singing "Club at the End of the Street" live. Here we go. This is it. Yeah, from 2000 live in Madison Square Gardens.
So he'll be a bit more ho 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 than he was.
Here we go. Oh yeah. Oh, he's great, Elton John.
Hey, did you see he lost his rag with the audience over the weekend?
Who did what?
Elton John.
Well, he did what?
Lost his rag with the audience.
Why?
He invited him up on stage, as he does, and there's a big cluster of them around his piano, and one of them was being daft and like waving their hands in front of his face and stuff. So he kicked them all off and told them that they'd effed it up.
Good for him. There we go. Good for him. That's where
we do up, did do up, did do.
You're ruining it, don't you ruin it?
I'm ruining it.
Having a poo. I'll tell you the worst Elton John song. And I'm gonna
it better not be one I like.
We can play it live again. Here we go. This is live. Okay, this is terrible.
Is it Sacrifice?
No. Oh, no,
Sacrifice Healing Hands. We got it wrong. We're on a completely wrong tip.
No, Club at the End of the Street.
No.
Healing Hands.
It was Sacrifice Healing Hands.
No.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
Sacrifice Healing Hands.
No, it's Elton John. Right. Sacrifice. I'm not having this. No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Sacrifice, stroke, healing hands.
And then where is Club at the End of the Street from then? This is great. This is great. Club at the End of the Street. It's from the same album.
Oh. It's definitely the same headgear season.
B-side was Give Peace a Chance. Right. So, okay. Well, this is the work.
Once again.
Oh no.
Elton John.
That's a crap version of it. Here we go. It's a good version. This will be good. Elton John live in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. No, that's a crap version of it. Right, here we go. Let's just do the. Here we go. This is Elton John.
No, I won't have it. I won't have it. This is better than Sacrifice.
Here we go. That's actually quite good.
It's good.
That's actually quite good, that one. Yeah. I like that one. Yes, Jerry. Hey, Jerry, we should put you in touch with Avril Priestley. She can cure your Parkinson's.
I've had them on my door before.
Yeah.
Still got it. They haven't cured me.
Oh, well.
They promised me, but there's no guarantees.
Well, mate, you just didn't believe enough. It's your problem.
I'm a believer.
That's where we're... I can't...
Good say alleys, walking, alleys, walking.
What?
Two bad things that we like to do.
You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, what's Captain Sensible gonna do?
Talk about the moon.
Oh, God.
Floating in the sky.
Oh.
Looking like a lily on the lake.
He's going for it.
Talk about the
I just don't know why. Birds.
Learning how to fly.
Yes.
Making all the music he can make.
Is he giving us topics for tomorrow's show?
Happy talking, happy talk.
I think he's pissed.
Talk about things you like. Who's on with this place?
Okay.
I've said my legs have gone off the screen now. I'm knackered.
Oh, there you go. You see.
No signal HDMI one.
You've got to... No signal HDMI.
Oh, it's Elton John's going at me. Elton John's going at me.
What? Hang on, we sent the spirit of Elton John through the phone to you.
Elton John's
it's like the Ring! Well...
He says Elton John's come out. I think he came out quite a while ago.
Yes.
I think with Elton John.
Do you know what I'd like to watch? And maybe I'll watch it tomorrow in my hotel. Tiaras and Tantrums.
Oh, yes.
I never saw it. I
love him. Quivering Rage.
Yeah, I love Elton John. I think he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Good. I'm glad he told people if they were messing around on stage, F off my stage.
He takes no poop. He just tells them where to go.
Yeah, good.
Doesn't need to.
Good for him. He's one of Britain's greatest exports.
But you ask, where's his security?
Sorry?
Where's his security?
He allowed them on stage.
He allowed them on stage. In honesty, it was probably his fault. And
probably on the real Elton John, probably a duplicate.
Yeah, it could be. There is that look. Remember, there was that lookalike Elton John, but he couldn't sing. And there was a documentary about him going for singing lessons to sound like Elton John.
Did Night Shepherd the one off Stars in Their Eyes once?
You're thinking of Chris de Burgh. The Chris de Burgh on Stars in Their Eyes. Right. Okay, here's a question for you, and one of the answers is Chris de Burgh. Name the two contestants on Stars in Their Eyes that went on tour with the people that they looked like.
Oh.
Right. So one of them is Chris de Burgh, right? So name the other one. And it's brilliant. I've seen video of it. It's brilliantly done.
Is it the Lionel Richie one?
Nope.
Meatloaf.
Nope.
Not the loaf.
It's the Jarvis Cocker.
Oh!
That they took the Jarvis Cocker lookalike. Pulp took him out on tour with them. So at one point there'd be two. The first one would come out, fake one would come out, and then the real one would come out, and there'd be two Jarvis Cockers.
That's so Jarvis.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Double Jarvis.
Jerry, your heavy breathing is scaring me. I'm going to cut you off.
Okay,
there we go. Let's try this. Yes, Albin.
Hi, Ian. It's Anna Haggerty, actually.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
A friend of Albin's.
Okay, yeah.
So Albin's on holiday, and so's the other guy who called in last week.
Yes.
I thought I'd call up, and because I was thinking about addiction today.
Yes.
Been listening to the show.
Yeah.
And
my spidey sense is tingling like nobody's business.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
So I was wondering, in terms of addiction, in terms of, I mean, well, is it the fact that, we're kind of made to think that a small percentage of the country or society as a whole is addicted? to certain things that may not be good for you. And is that the case, or is it the case that everyone's addicted to something?
Well, no.
That seems to be
not everyone is addicted to something.
Okay.
Well, what makes you think that?
Well, because I don't think humans can spend a whole lifetime without kind of faltering, as in emotionally having a low, and then kind of having crutches at that stage to use. Do you know what I mean? There's no idea. The very fact that you're human means that you're flawed. And at times they're going to get difficult. You're going to have bad times. I don't believe there's any human out there that doesn't have a bad time.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you my example, actually. I've got a few addictions, have had,
Right.
One of them began when I was probably about 13 in school. And the reason, when I look back at it now, obviously I'm not 13 anymore.
Is this Kadir?
Kadir?
You sound a lot like Kadir.
No.
All right, go on then.
Kadir. Kadir's still on his bus in London somewhere,
Okay.
One started when I was about 13, in school somewhere, and the reason for it, really, when I look back at it now, was that I was pretty uncool. Maybe others can relate. You're uncool, you want to be seen as cool, so you join a little group in the corner, And before you know it, 25 years goes by, and that
some corner, huh? Some corner.
Well, I'm looking back now. But one of the addictions started then. I've actually given up. 3 months ago, I gave up.
Oh, well done.
Thank you. But it's difficult, Ian. Over the last 3 months, I've had thought. The funny thing is, about a week ago, I had a dream where I was actually, whatever that, I don't want to really go into it in terms of details, but whatever that addiction was, I had a dream I was still doing it, in the dream.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's ever happened to you.
Right, yeah, using dream, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So that happened, but I can feel it. I can really feel it in the sense that when it gets really tough, meaning when life's stressful, that's when you're weakest. That's when I'm weakest.
Yeah. But your suggestion that everyone is addicted to something, it could be argued that the significant number of people are addicted to telephones and Twitter and stuff like that. But I know that my mum, there are people that still don't use those kind of things. I don't understand why you're projecting.
Well, I suppose what I mean is let me kind of rephrase that a little bit, which is that rather than saying that everyone's addicted to something, which is just a complete blanket kind of statement.
Yes.
But I suppose what I mean by that is that I think everyone can relate to everyone else, really.
No, they can't. Everyone can relate to everyone else. Have you not experienced the whole Brexit phenomenon of the last 2 years? Not everyone can relate to everyone else at all. Everyone hates everybody else.
Well, I think what I'm trying to say is that I believe that everyone goes through difficult times. There's no one human who can tell me, even the king of Wutanga, just a Black Panther reference, even he has problems, probably. And so what I mean is that everyone, another way of saying it is no one's immune to the idea of using crutches, falling to certain patterns of behaviour when things are tough.
We're skating around something, and I can't quite work out what it is. So stop skating around and use specific language. People aren't immune to what?
Well, what I'm saying is that
people feel crap at times. Yeah, of course they do. That's true. Yes.
No. What I'm talking about is more than just the idea that you might feel crap temporarily.
Okay, well then, this is your fifth attempt at trying to explain it. Try again, but be really specific in the language you use, because I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
Okay, let me try again.
Okay.
I think when you're emotionally low,
yes,
for a longer period than just an afternoon,
yes.
Because of something which is quite important in life, as in somebody makes you feel like crap. For example, somebody called you up earlier, a couple of hours ago, and he made you feel like crap.
Yeah,
maybe that's the reason
but and here's the important thing of that phone call. I allowed him to make me feel like that because I knew it was a fleeting thing, and I was curious to see where he would go. But it was I could have cut him off at any point, but I didn't. I made the decision that I was going to allow him to make me feel crap because I knew it would be transitory, and I knew that ultimately I was in control. But again, you're going off on tangent. You keep starting something and going off.
Just a quick question on that, Ian, if I may.
There's a tangent. There's another tangent. We're on your 6th attempt at trying to make the point that you were trying to make, because I'm nowhere near closer to understanding what you're talking about.
Well, that's unfortunate, because it is a serious point. It's not,
well, then make it.
Today.
Well, then make it, because I don't honestly, I don't understand it, man, and I'm really trying.
Okay. Let me have another go. I believe that, when we're younger as humans, when we're children, what we go through, emotionally, in our lives as children, they kind of leave a lot of scars. I think they can do, right? Depending on what kind of childhood you've got. And I think we spend the rest of our lives. It's going to sound maybe a bit crazy, but I think we spend the rest of our lives as adults almost trying to still fix those things.
Well, it doesn't sound crazy. That's Freudian. That's a kind of, a slightly watered. That's Freudian. Freudian believed that all of the problems and the fears and the sexual kinks that we have and the neuroses all stem back to like the sort of first 8 years of our life. But what is the point you're trying to make?
Well, maybe we don't need to play VR anymore, when we're 44.
But I like playing VR. Why would I want to stop playing VR just because you
sat in a corner for 25 What about getting out there and, getting within nature,
I do that as well. But why can't I play VR? I like VR.
Well, you can do, but if you're always playing VR,
but I'm not always playing it. I played it for 25 minutes last night. I got a bit motion sick, so I read a book and watched a film.
Exactly, more things to do with staying inside.
Well, it was about 11 o'clock at night.
Hey, London's a 24-hour city. That's why I hear.
I don't live in London.
Well, you're close enough, Ian. You don't live in Scotland either, do you?
Well, wait. I had to be up early to go and visit my mother.
Can I ask you a quick question?
No, because you've made no. Do you know what? No, you can't. I'll tell you why. Because for the last 10 minutes, you've made 7 attempts at trying to make a point, right? And we are no closer to knowing what your point is. And every attempt has been about something completely different. And then the last 30 seconds has been trying to have a pop at me. So, no, I will not allow you to ask me a question. If there hadn't been that little, snarkiness in the last 30 seconds, then maybe I would have. I would have indulged you a sec. But just that little bit of meanness at the end, you have lost the right to ask me a question. How's about them apples?
Fair enough.
Thanks for your call. Let's go to a break.
The Late Night Alternative with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
Anybody know? Why does it? Here's the thing. I'll tell you this. I forgot I was going to mention this. Right? People think. Come in, Paul. Come in. People think because I've been on the telly now. Right, they can say anything they want to me. People think they can say anything. Do you get this? People think they can say anything you want.
I tend to get people saying my brother's an idiot. And I always say, I've got 4 brothers, and then I also get a lot of... I'm a horrible, oily placater, so people think I'm man and people friendly. Yeah. And I kind of am. People often think I've dated their older sister. Didn't you used to look about with my sister? And of course I didn't, but I think I've got one of those faces... Maybe I did. I've had my moments, but...
Paul Ross, player,
I've got one of those faces, I think, that I look like... The only time I really get recognised, when I first started doing telly, it was a long time, was when I buy a railway ticket, because I think you're framed like you're on telly.
Oh, there you go,
and they go, I know you. And that was the only time.
People have a dig about you because of Jonathan.
Oh, I mean, but they in an affectionate way.
Right, OK.
It tends to be blokes shouting out of vans and something. Oi, tell your brother he's an oil tanker.
OK.
I'll pass that on immediately, young fella.
I've been asking after you.
He'll love to know that, but I don't know. I don't tend not to get personal stuff.
It's weird because doing the jungle has brought a real focus on me that I've never experienced.
But you were so kind of, without sounding like a creep, but it was a three-dimensional person, which you very rarely get on television. And you're an endearing chap. I mean, you're too tall and too grey.
Thank you.
And too handsome.
Well,
but apart from that, you're endearing.
But there was a thing in the paper about me at the weekend that's caused me all kinds of bother. And it's just this... I'm not used to... Because, the 11 o'clock show was years ago, before we had, Twitter and all of that stuff.
You did Talk Soup on E, though, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, but no, I mean, these are, small things. To suddenly do a pop show like The Jungle with 12 minutes... And I tell you what happened. I texted you this, because it was so upsetting. I was out with my boys. Right? I was holding my 6-year-old's hand on Saturday. And this woman came up to me. She went, "You went to school with my son." I went, "Oh, all right." It was a panic, because I think, what was their name? And I'll be honest, Paul, at school, I was in the middle of the bullying chain, and I've talked about this on air. I got bullied quite a bit, and I also kind of bullied some. I was quite mean to some people, and I've reached out to most of the people that I was mean to and made amends. And she said, "Yeah, it was my son," and she gave his name, and I went, "Oh, right, I remember. How's he?" And he was a nice lad, and I took the mick a little bit, but he was a nice lad. I went, "Oh, how's he doing?" And they're holding my 6-year-old son. She went, "Yeah, you phoned me up one night about when you were about 15, 16-year-olds, late one night, and were really rude to me, and I've never forgotten that." And I'm thinking, OK. And she said, "I'm getting uncomfortable with it." She said, "And I saw you in that jungle, and I know that you're a really mean person."
In front of your boys?
In front of my boy, right? I'm on my 6-year-old's hand, and I'm getting uncomfortable. And I think she was kind of trying to be affectionate, but totally misjudging it. And I let her do it for a bit, and I went, "Do you know what? That's really inappropriate to say that in front of my lad. I'm going to go." And I walked off, and I felt really uncomfortable, and I texted Kath. And then I went back out, and I found her about 10 minutes later. And I went up to her and I said, "Look, I just want to say, if I was rude to you in any way when I was a teenager, I apologise. That was out. I don't remember it, but it was inappropriate, and I'm really, really sorry for doing that. But that was 28 years ago, 30 years ago nearly, and I'm a completely different person. And also, I've got to say, saying that in front of my young lads, that is inappropriate." And she kind of went, "Oh, I'm really sorry. No, I'm sure you're a great dad." And I'm sure. I said, "OK, it's cool, and I don't want any bad feelings, and passed on my best to your son, and I hope everything is all right. But that was inappropriate." And it was really upsetting. And it's because if she'd have seen me 6 months ago, I don't think she'd have said it, but because she's seen me on The Jungle...
Oh, yeah. So people feel they own a part of it.
People think they can say anything to you.
Well, you've had someone on tonight who said you wouldn't be there if it wasn't for me. Like him specifically.
Wouldn't be where? Here?
Yeah, you wouldn't have got on The Jungle if it wasn't for me.
He was drunk. I mean, what can you do with these people? Anyway! Sorry,
it's all fun and games, isn't it?
I mean, I do wonder as well, though, with me, it's slightly because... I think you've mentioned things like the 11 o'clock show, which I think, I mean, people are, that's a kind of epoch-making show. That was a real watershed moment for me, and I kind of thought, I wish I worked on that as a producer.
Right, really?
Because I'd have certainly made you raise your game. I'm just saying that. No, I'm joking.
No,
I'm joking. But what I thought was fascinating about it was because it was something that people found provocative.
Yeah.
Whereas the stuff I've done, I was for a while the Duke of Daytime.
Yeah.
Did game shows. I did stuff on Sky One, but it's that very bottom feeder, Z-list, nothing wrong with it level that I found.
Yeah.
Which kept me in work, but I was never kind of spiky, provocative, or very high profile on the celebrity.
And the thing about the 11 o'clock show is, I was 25, and I was it was my first job, and I just did what I was told. I was terrified, man. I did what I was told, but that wasn't, that kind of 2 fingers up at everyone. That wasn't really me. But for years after, I kind of carried on doing that because I thought that's what people wanted. And so that image just stuck, and it was the jungle. I've been trying to get rid of that image for 20 years, and it was the jungle.
See, having heard you on radio and stuff, and we worked together on ages ago on other stations, and we had a half an hour gap, but I listened to you going... You've done that on the radio because radio allows you to be a human being, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Sometimes that's a bad thing because we all know radio presenters who reveal their true vileness when they're on air, but those are just the people you have to deal with.
Yeah.
De-tune if you don't like them.
Yeah. What is on your show tonight, Paul?
On the show tonight, we missed him yesterday. I got a very angry tweet from my daughter who's living in Cornwall because I marked all the big Saints days because I love a Saints Day. I'm a bit of a hagiographer.
Yeah.
Because we did an Oscar show last night, which we wittily entitled The Roskers.
Oh!
Seconds of Thoughts. We missed St. Piran's Day. St. Piran.
What, of the perineum?
No.
What? Who? St Piran?
St Piran, who's the national state of Cornwall, but the patron saint of tin miners.
Oh.
So we're celebrating on the show today St Piran and loads of things you never knew about March the 6th, including March the 6th is always 58 years out of 400 to fall on a Tuesday, a Friday or a Saturday. So in a Tuesday, a perfect March the 5th. It's March the 6th day today. All that and more still to come.
I'm
going full partridge tonight.
I'm going to get a pen and paper and work that out. See you
and if you know who the patron saint of the perineum is, please keep it to yourself or phone me in tomorrow after 10.
I heard a really interesting thing. You know, you got this patron saint of calculators and the patron saint of
the internet's got one. I can't remember who it is.
Well, I think it's the Roman Church, the Roman Catholic Church. Is they find, they get modern day problems and they kind of go, okay, which saint have we got? This is true. I heard a thing on Radio 4 about it.
It's not got enough to do.
Well, no, St Nicholas, Father Christmas, is also the patron saint of nudism. Fact. Because they decided naturists, which is a big, and it's not about sex naturism, it's a huge thing in East Germany. Yeah. It was a way of being free in a communist society. So there were thousands and thousands of naturists in East Germany, and the Catholic Church said, and we'll give you St Nicholas. If you get your wibbly wobbly bits out, Father Christmas will look after you.
Is that a joke, though?
St
Nicholas.
Maybe a joke by the Pontiff. I don't think the Pope does. My name's John Paul II. I'm here all week. I don't think he worked at the end of the period at Great Yarmouth.
Do try the fish, seriously. Right, that is it. Catherine, thank you. Sam, thank you very much indeed.
We're all only here because of Kath.
Exactly, we all are. Paul Ross is on after 1 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. This is Talk Radio.